years since last week. So we'll just open it up with some of the really pressing news, which is everybody probably heard. There's been a couple of things happening in and around Iran and related. Specifically, you've probably heard all the mainstream stuff, bombs here and there, some bombs on the island. Just to clarify, there are a couple of military targets on the island, and that's all that was targeted by the U.S. and or Israeli military attacks. Just so you know. But that's not even the point I was wanting to get into. But in case you were curious, the point I was wanting to get into is that everybody heard, or you probably should have, because it was a big deal in the news, that the Iranian women's soccer team decided to defect, note, after some pressure from the U.S. on the government where they were being hosted to allow it to occur. But, either way,
want to let it happen.
Yeah, they were.
I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it finally was done, and then all the ladies were apparently very appreciative of the opportunity. Unfortunately, the captain of the team has decided instead to just undefect. Mind you, her family has now disappeared and cannot be found in Iran. Curiously. But, so...
Yeah, I wonder what happened.
I sincerely hope that they're still alive. And that this terrible thing
I imagine they are.
Maybe.
You see, some things can't be unpunished, or not allowed to be... they can't go without punishment.
Well, that's true. But
punishment is effective when made public.
Nah, well, that's fair. But I mean, by that same notion,
and
they do have that thing in Iran where they can't give a virgin woman the death penalty. So So they fixed that, and then they give her the death penalty.
Exactly, that's the thing.
By force, mind you. The death, obviously, is by force. The not being a virgin anymore also is by force.
Now, there was a person who wrote that. There's a scholar, you might say, an austere scholar, some might say, who wrote the legal literature on that matter.
Oh, the Honorable Scholar Hassanabi? The spokesman of Hamas?
Oddly enough, not that fanboy of Hezbollah.
Oh, okay. Not Ayatollah Piker. Okay, who was it?
It would be the previous one.
Khomeini?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He
was very concerned with whether or not women were virgins.
But if we take the wise words of Ayatollah Piker, Khomeini was. Let me quote this correctly. I don't want to misquote Prophet Piker. What was it? Oddly affirming to homosexuals. Was that what it was? No. Oddly. Oddly pro-trans, in the words of the Prophet Hassan Piker. Yes, Ayatollah Khomeini was oddly pro-trans.
Yes, he was very concerned about the trans issue.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're...
and how it could benefit the Empire of Iran.
But, anyway, that's grand old times, as you do.
I'll be right back again.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, what oh my. What a state of the world we find ourselves in. So, also, states of the world. I was going to transition to something else, but it kind of slipped my mind, but that happens. I have that. So, what we'll instead talk about is it's a terrible pun. I'm not going to do it. So just imagine I did a really bad Hillary impersonation as I move into this Pokemon Go section. Anyway, so the Pokemon Go thing, everybody is pretty much aware that the company behind that, they were using it as a mapping utility. Not just public. Anywhere that you went with your Pokemon Go app, it was able to map out that area using basic things. as well as just like war driving technologies, that sort of shit. But beyond that, it also was interiors of homes, interiors of anywhere that, say, you might want to catch some Pokemon. Like, for instance, as we reported a couple weeks back, maybe you're on an island in the Caribbean called Little St. James that happened to have a Pokemon stop. Well, there'd be some mapping of that. Well, just of note here is that Pokemon Go was initially funded by probably one of the most anti-American organizations in existence, the CIA. And, of course, their pleasure with that resulted in numerous internal medals awarded there, too. And, of course, now, it's been offshored and outsourced. It now belongs to the House of Saud, the royal family, as a matter of fact. So it's got your movement data, your interiors, your exteriors, kind of like that scene from The Dark Knight where they're just showing all the various scenes that are on all the phones and all the areas getting mapped. Something kind of like that. You remember The Dark Knight, right, Craig?
The Dark Knight, I do.
Yeah, the scene with the like all the cell phone data mapping out everything and everywhere. Yeah, basically that's what Pokemon Go's been doing.
Oh, that's been obvious from the start.
Well, yeah, but now it's kind of come out too, and it's just I've got something on here that's just got a nice little breakdown on it for anybody.
Well, it's if you read the contract you sign when you play that game, it's very obvious the extent of the data that they are collecting, and it's some of the implications of the data that they have been collecting. So, as a person who plays that game and will probably continue playing that game anyway, should be aware of what you sign for contracts.
Yeah.
I have a niece and nephew that play it with me, so there's a reason for it. Not just, while it is fun to dick around with. So, here's what you should consider. Truly consider it when you buy a device like a cell phone these days, and you pick a company that's going to have access to data just from the get-go as soon as you purchase it. That information is already being collected. No matter which of the big companies you pick, no matter which carrier, no matter which brand of device, and then you start loading it up with apps that all demand data in the same fashion. The notion of privacy with a cell phone in the house has been so radically changed from back when we had dumb phones. And there are no truly dumb phones in the market that you're going to be able to find these days.
Not true, actually. It's just, but you have to look. You're not going to just go and get one unless you know where to look.
If it has a modern chip in it to run with 5G, 4G, even 3G, I guess I'm just telling you that the detail of data that is available to such a device in terms of audio and location and even video, you have to have this expectation.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
People.
Basically, it's kind of if you're on the net, somebody's watching. Just assume as much.
Exactly. Now, there's ways you anonymize that in your actions and so on, but if you have these simple things, let's say like this: if you're squat and surfing at home, you don't point the camera at your dick, right?
Yeah, that's only for the agent, in the morning.
There you go.
And remember to tag your agent with your morning wee or your morning deuce, as you were.
Oh no, you take a picture of that as you're sending it. You're sending it to your parents. You can make sure to copy them in.
Well, you can do that too, but
Good God. Don't do that, kids.
Yeah, don't actually. But it would be hilarious if you do save it to your rolls and let
Yeah, let
let
Uncle Sam have the
let your
gander.
handler take let your Sandler handler take a look at that.
It's like Sackler is the word you're looking for there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, but yeah, the this is not something that should be a surprise to anybody. Period. I mean, the even even the disclosure to public, I think, is not a surprise. So it's one of those. It's funny because it's one of those things that it could be any company that go after this. Now, the fact that the CIA seeded money towards it is also not a surprise. This is
well,
something
no,
that they
it's
do
like finding
generally.
out. Oh, you mean the CIA had this program to track each and every person and citizen in America and their likes and
Yeah,
dislikes, and then they quietly mothballed the program the day Facebook was founded? That's crazy. No. I mean, those two things are obviously
well,
unrelated
again,
entirely.
again, like it's baked into the device. So the fact that they seed companies later on, like it's this is something they've done very frequently for decades. Is through shell companies they will seed funding. Like it's not a secret. The fact that people treat it as if it's a secret is actually kind of funny.
Well, that's fair. I mean,
Like they're
honestly,
out in
we've
the
talked
open
about these sort of things
telling you this
before
stuff
on a
in
couple of
public
occasions.
hearings.
I
They're out in
don't
the public
remember
telling you this stuff.
was it Pokemon that we were reporting on that revealed a secret base, or was no, it was one of the walking step counter things.
No, there's
That's
a bunch of those.
well, yeah, but I remember actually specifically reporting on
Yeah,
one of
I
those.
remember what you're talking about. You're talking about the one that was on the island.
Yeah. Different island, by the way, but yeah,
Yes, not that island.
yeah, not that one, different one, but yeah. Oh,
Although that one we found out has a Pokestop on it,
yeah. Oh,
right?
that's what I was mentioning as I was talking about that because of course it did, of course. Uh,
Look, you need to get your steps in, and you need to get your Pokemon in, and you need to get your trainer goals as you're raping a child. Obviously,
Yeah, and it's hungry work, and so you might want to go down to the tunnels that are now filled with cement and do whatever happened down there before they were filled with cement. Anyway, so you probably heard about the new surveillance bill out of Canada, right? Or
you
or have you?
tell
Okay. Well, they got a new one. Let me see if I've got an actual like bill number or
they
something
they
on
have a new
this.
one up there about every week, so
Fair. That is a completely
that'll
fair
be good.
statement. C22. Okay, so long and short here, it'll it'll store your mass data, your metadata, pretty much all of it, for 1 year. Always,
Uh huh.
everyone,
So they're already doing
every
that.
well, everyone,
Let me,
every
let me,
guy.
let me just pause you here. They're already doing that in the United States for a period of 5 years.
Sure.
Just want to let you know, and that includes anybody along the border in Canada who connects with one of our cell towers. 5 years already,
Oh yeah, and if you're
bare
actually
minimum.
not an American,
That
they
is
can
an
do
ISP requirement as well.
way more than that.
That is an ISP requirement as well. That is one of the reasons that the NSA built those giant ass data centers.
Yeah, basically all of your calls cop through an NSA data center here in the states.
Well,
All calls,
the
at
data
least
is
cellular ones,
collected.
because if everything just goes through their servers, then well, it
Of course, they
doesn't
be
really
collected.
matter
Yes.
then because they are the
You
man
don't need a
in the
warrant
middle.
for it.
They are the middle, not the man in the middle.
Yep.
Good times, good times. But speaking of the man in the middle too, we should. I don't know if this one's going to get the. It will, but we might as well go ahead and be the first to it because that's what we do. So out of Virginia, they've got Bill HB 61, and
Hmm.
the long and short of this one, is that they've got a 42% quota on business ownership. So, like South Africa, basically. So you've got to have a 42% stake of a minority, a woman, whatever diversity Olympic thing there is. Sets aside $100,000 in contracts. It doesn't. I don't have the specifics here. Probably $100,000 per individual or per individual contract or what have you, that are denied to whites. Just period. And
so that's very blatantly South African, yes.
Yeah, quite literally. So I think that this is going to probably make its way to the district, and depending on how it fares at the district, all the way up to SCOTUS, because it's just blatant racism.
I see that being denied very easily at the district level.
Yeah, it's pretty
like,
obvious.
That's not even going to hit to appellate.
Yeah.
That's so insanely racist. That is precisely the kind of bigotry that and discrimination, unfair discrimination being the key words there, that we fought in this country in the 60s. That is like the exact kind of civil rights violations that we do not tolerate in this country.
And just a quick note on that too. To quote Marbury versus Madison, all laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. Well, I think that's pretty repugnant on its face and to the Constitution. So, double whammy.
Yeah. That'd probably be the opening citation I would have in court.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much more to say on it.
That is so blatantly on its face unconstitutional and disgusting.
But
I don't care what demographic it's like. The thing I would start at the beginning of that in court, I would specifically cite that, and I would basically state it as being for white people, and look at the faces of the judge and the jury.
Just go in there full on, southern plantation owner, man. And just like, just read it out, put the accent on nice and thick. Like, now we have all these house boys that are getting uppity, and we cannot allow them to have these jobs, you see, because they already work in the house and are privileged. And just do the whole thing. And so it's like, so I just read you the whole thing, but did it in an accent. So
you got to be careful with that, because even the subtlety of giving a mirror to this, to reflecting it in a way that will make them recoil reflexively, is sufficient for them to miss the nuance of being the ridiculously racist people that are the problem. That'll be immediately taken up in papers as if you are treating...
Yeah, he came out and blatantly supported slave ownership or some shit. Yeah, totally. But speaking of slave owners, and since we're talking about Virginia, we should probably talk about how they put through their assault weapon ban and their magazine bans and all their other dumb bullshit that's on.
They have a collection, a whole cavalcade of human rights violations they're working on.
They do, but, and you're gonna love this, and I'll just read it from House Bill number 110. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's long as fuck. I'll read you the important part here. Subsection G. The provisions of this section shall not apply to any member of the General Assembly who leaves a handgun in an unattended motor vehicle pursuant to subsection 18.2, 1308.71.
Remember,
when such a vehicle is parked in any parking structure reserved for members of the General Assembly under 2.2.1172.
Remember, it is rules for thee,
but not for me.
Not for me. Yeah.
No, sir. No.
It's not bad enough that they want to take your rights from you. It is they want to rub your nose in it, like giving themselves the privilege of those rights.
Special Agent Spanberger, you are.
Remember that rights can't be taken away, but privileges can.
Truly, they can.
To treat a right as a privilege is rather abhorrent.
Mm-hmm.
To then attempt to convert your rights, your natural-born, God-given rights, to some privilege of the state is even worse.
Indeed. And
This is not something. This is not the reason why they are called rights and not privileges. Is
yeah,
specifically because the
yeah,
state does
it's
not
not the
grant them.
Bill of Privileges.
The state does not grant them. They are not given to you. Those are not protections from the government doing stuff. They are restrictions on the government.
Precisely that. It is to say that your rights are pre-existent, and that the government is coming in to alienate them to some degree.
And that the government coming into existence must abide by the rules that exist before it exists. There is no, well, if but, we can do this. No. This is what already happens. This is what we acknowledge a priori, and this is what you're allowed to do.
Like the sun's going to shine, the rain's going to fall, so you're going to have to deal with that.
People can talk about it.
And then, beyond that, we'll figure things out. But the sun is going to shine, and the rain is going to fall.
When it comes to an individual, though, and individual rights, those pre-exist and are superior to the government.
Yeah. Do you deny the lion his teeth and claws? I think not. So.
Well, you can try. I think that's the idea.
Yeah, you can try it.
That's the thing. Is that's one of the problems. Is this is not a bill of challenges for government stooges.
No. And 1984 isn't an instruction manual, but here we are.
So yeah, as Benjamin Franklin said, it's a republic if you can keep it, and the keeping of it is not.
Yeah, we're definitely at one of those keep it points where we got to make up our minds.
Here's the problem. That is exactly the problem. You illustrated it perfectly. To keep it is not to have it. It is not a notion of holding. It is a notion of maintenance. To keep it as in to mind it. Mind your children as in to watch it. It is a government if we can keep it. That is a big difference in connotation there. And what he meant was you have to be vigilant. You have to mind your government. You have to keep it safe as of a toddler.
Oh, and speaking of toddlers, just real quickly, we should probably
touch toddler trying to burn your house down kind of toddler.
Exactly that. Yeah. So, like I was saying, we should probably touch on that momentarily. So, there's been some audio going around that, of course, Candace has been putting out very heavily.
Evil bitch. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, fine, whatever. I mean, I don't actually disagree at this point. She's kind of pushed the line. And let me just preface, too, with there are some unanswered questions and there are some weird things. But I don't think any of it reaches the level of what some of these folks have said.
Let me touch on something real quick as part of this. The notion that Christ is king is anti-Semitic.
Fucking Ted Cruz.
No. It's fair. Look. Here we go. For the most part, when someone says Jesus is king, because remember, demons and devils, and at least in that theology, are not capable of saying Jesus, but they can say Christ somehow. Which I think is a funny distinction. Like I get it when someone tries to proclaim their faith, proselytize at will. I think that is fair. But when you have a Muslim like Sneeko, who does not think that Jesus is king, or Christ is king, what have you, who thinks that you're an idolater for praising Jesus, come out and say things like, "Oh, I love to say that because it pisses off Jews." Sometimes two things can be true at once.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. You can walk and chew gum at the same time.
So
or you cannot walk and chew gum at the same time, and be like Sneeko.
I think that it is within the purview of Christians to acknowledge that there are people out there who specifically cite that phrase just to piss off Jews. And the fact that a lot of them probably are Muslim is doubly funny, because that's exactly what a fucking Muslim would do if they were an evil creature like Sneeko. So it is perfectly reasonable.
Oh, and just, I mean, since we're on the topic, just real quick before I get into what I was actually going to cover, is that Iranian state media does have two new favorite American superstars. The one, obviously, that we just mentioned there, Sneeko. The other being the fellow we previously mentioned, the Ayatollah Piker. So they've both been
now, they already
featured.
like Fuentes, by the way. They already play Fuentes routinely.
Oh, I'm sure. But, oh, man, I hope they do like a segment with all three, like together. Because the reaction that Ayatollah Piker will provide to that will be monumental. Anyway, that's just...
So I just wanted to go ahead and toss in there that when someone when a deranged psychopath like Candace Owens says Christ is king, and she can't believe that a Jew would be offended by that, perhaps it's because when he used it, it was not a proclamation of faith. It was just to try and insult a Jew.
Now, to be fair, Craig, this is Candace Owens we're talking about. And she thought it was a good idea to build a site to dox kids online.
This is
because
true.
Because it was a good idea.
Pretty
much that's the explanation. Because it's a good idea. I wish there were more depth to this than that, but there's not.
What I will not say here is that a Christian proclaiming their faith is a bad thing. I think that it is fine that a Christian proclaims their faith. If they want to say Jesus is king or Christ is king, or they want to chant that of a Christian faith rally, etc., that's your thing. Go for it. Go balls to the wall. Say it with your chest.
Oh, speaking of which,
what I am saying here is that when one of these motherfuckers comes out and does that, you do not have to align yourself with them and the rest of their messaging if they say the one thing and a Jew might get upset.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, to be fair,
it's not a requirement.
Hassan once said something correct.
And I'll say this also. I'll say this also. Demons only see words as a tool to trick humans.
Okay, Freeran. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. So, as I was saying here, there's this audio that's been going around that has been purportedly from Erica Kirk talking about recruiting some girl or something.
This additional retard who has decided to come out and say this stuff, and now is trying to defend herself. Saying, she cares for kids.
And the long and short is because we don't really need... Because everybody's going to hear about this, but they might not hear the specifics, and that's what we're here for.
Right.
So the specifics of it are, and I'll include a link to a clip from the woman who is in that clip. Mm-hmm. But it's from an interview with a girl by the name of Haley Robson, who was actually trying to kind of coax some information out of... was it her? Well, okay, I don't know if it was... It involves her. I think the audio is her, of someone trying to get like a confession or some information, trying to coax something out of her in a recording. And it was I don't have all the specifics here. But anyway, I'll include a link to that so that you can all just kind of give it a look over. Now, on the other thing that's been going around, that's going to be Benjamin Netanyahu and his 6 fingers. Okay. So there was a kind of odd speech video that was released Benjamin Netanyahu a few days ago after he and his son had kind of fallen off the face of the earth for a little while. And there were some questions about the video and like his tone and cadence and all that. Tone and cadence, okay, fair enough on that one. But there was some nonsense regarding 6 fingers, and no, that was just lighting. And
it was also just lies that were promulgated by... Well, let's go ahead and guess who right now. There might be a slight war between 2 countries going on, or more countries. We'll see.
Yeah.
It might be a country that has lashed out at every neighbor just recently, that has been very desperate to get people on their side, or at least to spread lies. And I'll repeat the refrain on this one for the truth that it is, that the obscenity of the lie is the point of the lie.
Now,
they are not trying to convince you that Bibi has 6 fingers, that he is dead. They are trying to piss off everyone who then feels the need to correct it.
Well, either way, the video itself was released, and it's kind of meh. And again, we're at the point where the objections are idiotic, because there are points you could bring up, like the cadence and tone and all that. But everyone's like, look at the shadow on the bottom of his palm. That's an extra pinky. Shut the fuck up. Or then there was another that was released just today of him going to some coffee shop and getting some coffee, and again, with the fucking fingers, people, they're fine. They do fingers okay now. Stop looking at fucking fingers. Because, funny enough, the cadence is good. The speech is good. Everything's on point. It doesn't have that weird compressiness to it that, a lot of AIs will make. However, there is one weird thing. Maybe it's an artifact. Maybe it's something else. Whatever. Don't know. But as he's putting his hand into the pocket kind of jumps up to reach onto his hand. Maybe it caught on his knuckle. I don't know what. Fuck it.
If it's from a shadow.
It actually isn't. It does. It literally does just jump up. But it could be artifact. It could be any number of things. But that's the only thing. That's it.
I was gonna say, if it's from a shadow, then there's a great explanation for that. Actually, there's several videos.
Yeah, it's
on
not.
YouTube about shadows jumping.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's pretty much like that. That's the only thing. And could that mean something? Maybe. Because that said, that is the only proof of life there is on him. So maybe they got him. I kind of doubt it, but who knows? Whatever. Just putting the information out there, because people need to kind of hear the other side of these things with a little bit of
sure,
a little bit of nuance, because that's literally what we're here for. So, speaking of nuance, what we're here for, Slay the Spire 2. It's apparently outdoing another game that was recently released. What was that? Concord 3 or was it Concord 4? Oh, Marathon, right. Or was it 1382 or something? Ex Voto or whatever. So there's a real big name game, Marathon, obviously, that just came out. Had a little bit of
the one from Bungie.
Yeah. Yeah, so that came out.
It's funny that they keep trying to claim that the original people are still there. There's some junior dev that's probably going to be in some very fucking hot water soon, that put out all the people who are still there from the original Halo. It's like, okay, so now we have a list of people who are responsible for this shit, and we have a list of people who are no longer responsible for this shit. Good job, genius. You just made your life a big problem for them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it was. That is just. It's such a moment for that guy. Congratulations. I hope it was worth it. Just amazing stuff.
Yeah. So.
Also,
but also the other game, which let me see if I can find the name of this thing. It's like 1384 or. Man,
so I want to just so my buddy Sarge.
Yeah.
From GGT.
Of course.
So he's branching out and he's been playing video games with me again. I wanted to go ahead and throw his channel out there for people to enjoy. Especially, so we played some Halo, we played some PlanetSide 2 together, and he's been putting out clips as shorts and videos, and there's more that he's posting, but I figured just give him some early numbers. We'll see what happens. But here's the link to his channel, and you can see him owning my ass in Halo.
No, well, there you go. Yeah, that'll be in the links down below if anybody wants to check out a friend of the channel.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually did remember that correctly, or very close to correctly. So it's 1348 ex voto.
Uh-huh.
So What you've ostensibly got is a female-led Dark Soulsy game. Ostensibly, you don't,
Oh,
unfortunately.
wasn't there something about like
It's entirely taxpayer funded.
some lesbian bullshit going on towards the end?
Oh no, from the beginning.
Or that's it? Okay.
Yeah, no, from the beginning.
Well, no,
Until
I thought there was like some domestic violence scene in there. Which was
oh,
just like,
from what I've heard, the game ends as many lesbian relationships do. So, make of that what you will.
Like, here's the thing: it's really sad.
Yes,
that's
actually,
the state of affairs for
tragic.
lesbian women.
Matter of fact,
It's really sad that that's the state of affairs for lesbian women. But
yeah,
what a reflection in media, man. A game that's like destined for failure,
and only propped up by taxpayer dollars as well.
That is outstanding work, guys.
And just to be clear, I've actually had a look at some of the reviews and some of the some gameplay, and the game itself it looks okay, but that's really all it's got going for it. It doesn't have.
Well, look, I do like a game that has.
Well, no. I mean, really, and honestly, it's a button masher. That's it. You don't have to do any combos. You don't have to do any parries. You can just go in and attack.
Look, I'm not averse to button mashers. I like playing Smash Bros.
Well, yeah, but
I like playing Street Fighter.
Right, but when you're going for something like a Soulsy kind of game, that's not a button masher, It's supposed to be some.
That's not a vibe you get to keep with a button masher.
No. Oh, and speaking of vibes, everybody,
look. Wait, hold on. I think an unforgivable, like an unforgiving button masher, I think is fun. So something like that has Souls like non-forgiveness from stakes, I think is pretty cool. That's actually a genre that should exist. The fact that it might involve dueling lesbians is pretty fucking funny.
Well, in this case, you don't get that. All you get is the dueling lesbians.
Unfortunately. Okay. All right. So anyway, speaking of vibes.
Yeah. So, did we report on this? I don't think we reported on this. I think we just talked about it. But a lot of people, there's been a lot of chatter because, of course, don't know if you've watched Firefly, but it was a cool series.
I have. It was a great series.
It was. Serenity, also top notch. Good writing, really good practical effects,
as far as
completely acceptable CG.
With series-ending movies, I thought that was fairly tasteful. I didn't like that the series ended, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
But like everyone else, I was like, if this is what I get, this is what I get. I guess we have to accept it. Nathan Fillion was going to bring things back with the brown coats on YouTube, but then that kind of fell through.
Well, I have news.
Uh-huh.
Bum bum bum. So,
don't get my fucking hopes up again. It's like the fifth time it's happened.
Well, don't worry. I'll dash them immediately so that you don't get them too high.
Oh, great! It's even better.
Yeah. Just go. Just sit in your chair and have your Red Letter Media 1,000-yard stare, and I'll just go ahead and tell the story. So, we had Nathan out there. There was a series of videos just in the last week or two where he was going around talking to the various actors and. Like, hey, are we doing this thing? Looks like we are. And then it ends up with him, at with Jane. It's like, okay, well, there's no denying. Because he's wearing the beanie hat and everything. It's like, okay, all right. So there's a little bit of hype there. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, I've got an update for you. It apparently is going to be an animated show. And it'll be written by a man by the name of Mark Guggenheim.
Uh-huh.
And, not, by the way, of Guggenheim Museum fame, surprisingly enough. I know you'll be abashed to believe that, but yes, indeed. So I'm going to go ahead and take my monkey's paw here and go ahead and let you know that, in fact, the finger did curl. So,
oh, boy.
All right, and I'll just quote Mr. Guggenheim here. If you voted for Trump, there's nothing I can do for you. I marched against Vietnam, protested Bush 1 and Bush 2, marched against Trump 1.0 and 2.0 and will only stop
Cool. What
marching
does this
and
have to do with
protesting
price of tea in China?
when the legs
Price
give out.
of-
Well, you have to ask yourself that, but does it matter to someone who has other priorities?
Right.
Sadly, it often matters little. So, yeah, it's looking kind of grim for that Firefly reboot or revisit or whatever it was going to be.
Was.
So, yeah. Well, you know.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That's... Carry on, soldier.
Yep. Unfortunately.
How many punches to the dick can I get today? Oh, let's add one more.
Yeah. Well, you know, in it's not. Maybe it's more of a pat as opposed to a punch in this case. So we've got a fun update from south of the border.
Sir.
Well, hey, no, we've got touching news from south of the border. So
touching news already.
We have now learned that President Trump got in touch with Claudia Sheinbaum and offered to help her wipe out the cartels, but she just flatly refused.
Emphatic in her refusal.
Which that tells me one thing, that that she is, as a matter of fact, not. She's not a pawn of the cartels.
She knows that part of that
she works for them directly.
Involving her. She knows that would involve her.
Mm-hmm.
That somehow that is her fear that the United States would find out that something involves her. That's what that tells me.
And there's another area south of the border that has a leader that is rumored to have been involved in some heavy anti-Trump activities. A fellow by the name of Maduro. Then there are some rumors that he will be giving testimony in the near future. If that happens, I boldly look forward to that, because I will offer, in addition to that, this piece of news. Make of it what you will. But Sidney Powell has been appointed head of election integrity. So things could become very interesting. There's a lot of questions that Sidney Powell would probably want to ask people.
Like Maduro.
Maduro. There were some rumors that we were able to share during the election, the last one, about there being some weird connections. Now, all we could do on those is rumors, because that's all it is. What we can tell you, and I'll tell you again today, on those Dominion machines, the Smartmatic machines, were internet connected, were remotely accessible, and were changed to be so in the final days. What does that mean? Can't tell you. Who did it? Also can't tell you. What was done because of it to the machines? Again, can't tell you. But boy, doesn't it raise some really uncomfortable questions.
I do imagine that they're doing routine, necessary, and non-suspicious routine, like updates on the fly to these machines. Prior to that's some shit that they were probably supposed to be doing by hand with the USB key, which is equally disturbing.
One hopes.
Loading up the actual candidates or the actual ballot measures onto the machines. I bet part of that was being done using network assistance, and that's not supposed to happen. But if you're a lazy network engineer and or IT person, and you're just like, all right, we need to get this shit going, I can see how that would be a very tempting thing.
Well, we will.
I'm not saying it's a positive. As explanations go, this also is far from innocent. Because if you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you should be fired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But at the same time,
as we've said, there's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. Maybe we'll get some. You know, hell, who knows? Maybe there's a Kraken out there waiting to be unleashed, right?
Dude, that shit was the dumbest fucking.
2 weeks, Craig. 2 weeks.
Right? I wanted to find one of whoever was trying to do marketing for them for that shit, because that was pure marketing bullshit. Like whoever it was who thought that was a great idea needed to get a kick right in the nuts, just a cunt punt, just a full leg, full swing, full contact from knee to ankle, shin, kick right in the crotch. Lift him up in the air by a foot, just kind of, hey, wake the fuck up. This is not working. The Kraken is bullshit,
Probably.
Just release the Kraken. Fuck off.
If there was a Kraken to be released, just like if there were some incredibly incriminating final nail in the Trump coffin, it would have been released too.
As if a man walked in the bedroom, dropped his pants, and went, "Release the Kraken!" It's just you have soured the entire notion at that point. Congratulations.
Well, it's perfect analogy. Perfect analogy. Let's say that you are at a family dinner or something 10 years ago, and you say to
the aristocrats.
No, I'm not going to do the Ides joke right now. So.
Oh man, that's brutal.
I know, right? So. Yeah. Oof. Speaking of brutal, god damn.
Big oof there.
Anyway. Say you're at a family dinner 10 years ago. It's 2016.
Thanksgiving.
And Trump's just in. He's doing his thing. It's whatever. The media landscape is still a little weird. Whatever. And you say to your family, that Epstein guy that got no, he hadn't yet been arrested. Okay, so that Epstein guy that back in 2009 got the arrest and everything for the kid stuff.
The guy who got the OJ treatment.
So that he's involved with people literally eating children. Everybody's gonna look at you and be like, "You're a fucking insane person." For one, who the fuck is this Jeff guy? And for two, what the fuck? No, you're insane. And then now, you could say, "So, that Jeffrey Epstein guy. It sure seems like a lot of the people around him were into cannibalism and human sacrifice."
Yeah, how about that?
Huh? Difference a day makes.
Well, we got a phrase here in the South, in Florida. We got a phrase here when it comes to that kind of discussion at the dinner table. How about them Gators?
Right.
Up there, I hear it's how about them Chiefs?
Right.
Stuff of that sort. How about them Eagles?
How about it?
How about them Redskins?
How?
Yeah. So.
How indeed. Anyway,
okay, yes.
On that note too, just because not a lot of other folks have been talking about it. What with the whole thing over there in the sandbox that's happening, the Department of Justice has, for this time, quote, indefinitely paused, end quote, the unsealing of the final Epstein files, citing regional instability and national security.
This might have been. This should have been fully expected. That there's it's not the war. It's not even the war that's the excuse. You're going to have people that are currently in power that are going to be a problem. You're going to have things that can't be released on the basis of the contents. That would be things like child porn. They're just not going to release video of Epstein.
Well, it would be things like the description of the image that I read a few weeks ago that is in the FBI files and redacted.
So again,
and that description is quite graphic.
They're just not going to release some stuff. And that we had to expect. We had to expect that. The fact that they're telling us this is a good thing. Because the alternative is
that's fair.
leads you along. The alternative is they lead us along, and we're all upset for years and years and years about something that should be coming out instead of something that we know is not coming out.
Yeah, now
You can be upset about it now. I'm not saying it's wrong to be upset that you're not getting stuff that you were promised now. What I'm saying is that it's a great thing if they're telling you this right now, because that means that because we have other priorities in this country. This is something that I have to agree with people who've been upset that the Epstein files have been a distraction. Like, I get it that you're angry that we're still stuck on this thing from years ago, et cetera, et cetera. Fine. That's valid. That's true. I would prefer it be out of the way, that they just release everything and be done with it. If there's things that they can't release because of whatever reason, say it's, for example, to keep Saudi Arabia from ejecting us from the country and saying to hell with it, and then dealing with Iran on their own.
Oh yeah, like the section,
allowing them to get a bomb and then having it go off here in the country.
Exactly, like where you've got that section that includes September 11th of 2001. Those few years in there that aren't in there. There might be a reason that Saudi Arabia would not want those to come out, for instance.
Yes, considering that 18 of the 19 were Saudis.
But even still,
I mean, that's something,
and that's without even talking about the art students or anything else. So,
isn't it funny how that's something that people conveniently skip right past? The 18 of the 19 that did 9/11 were Saudi nationals.
Well,
isn't that crazy?
The whole thing is crazy. The whole thing is completely crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Everything about it is wild.
Isn't that kind of nuts that an Afghanistan guy got 18 Saudis to go and do that for him? It's almost like there was a plan to cause mass conflict in the Middle East as well as in the United States.
Do you mean special agent? I probably oughtn't complete that thought.
Special agent. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's only that he worked for the CIA directly.
No, he didn't work for the CIA. He was trained by them, which is equally bad in this case.
No, actually, just to clarify, that's no.
Being paid by them is different from
No. I don't have everything in front of me right now, so this is one of those you'll have to kind of believe me on it. But it's been a while since I've done the research, but it appears very firmly that he was not merely that he was working quite directly, perhaps specifically was an agent. But past the past doesn't matter now.
Well, that will be something that comes out in 30 years, won't it?
Right. Or doesn't, It took how long for us to get the information about what happened on Dallas that day? And we're still waiting for a little bit yet. Although that said, there's not a lot left of that data.
The fact that we got that is pretty good.
Oh, no. The fact that we got that is excellent.
Promises kept, man. Like, that is something that is... There is a large segment of the Democrat base, that likes RFK Jr., that now has RFK Jr. as a thought leader to direct them towards Republican aims, specifically because of that release. So as far as strategic goals, in a cynical sense, that was one of those chess moves that you make to take half the board.
Oh, and speaking of chess moves, we should probably talk about something that is a first. And I think it might even be a first internationally. And it is a big move. Out of Texas, 9 members of an Antifa cell found guilty of terrorism.
Yes, they were.
So, to clarify, these were the ones that set up an ambush on some Texas law enforcement. Let me see, what was the exact one on this one? They ambushed the ICE center. Oh, yeah, okay. This is the one where it was the shooting at the ICE center. They basically made a big kerfuffle and everything, got everybody distracted through their smoke bombs and their grenades and everything, and then just started shooting people. So, first time ever, FBI arrested Antifa-aligned anarchist, violent extremists, and terrorism charges have been brought for the July 4th Prairieland ICE attacks in Texas. According to FBI Director Kash Patel, jurors found the defendants guilty of providing material support to terrorists, rioting, conspiracy to use, carry explosives, and using or carrying explosives.
So material support, that's materials, monies, direct assets, and in-kind contribution type of support. Mm-hmm. So you can't just be like, yeah, but I didn't pay for it. It's like, well, did you give it to them? Yes, then you supported them materially. As in fact, we can prove it in court. So
sure enough. And this begins the process of precedent. Now we have Antifa terrorists found guilty and jailed.
This also means that Democrats can't do that stupid bullshit where they say it's just a concept. It's not a...
exactly. Group. Jerry, Mr. Nadler, maybe you've heard of them now.
And I'm sure he will conveniently forget that this ever happened.
Undoubtedly.
Hopefully, though, he'll be conveniently out of office at some point.
That would be nice. That would be a step in the right direction.
Ideal would be the case there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be ideal. Unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world, so we will see how things play. So, on that very same note, we've got a lot of kind of going back to Virginia for just a quick half second in relation to the assault weapons ban and the gun bans and all the dumb bullshit. There's some fucking Indian dude or something that's the spearhead of this. It's only recently become an American citizen who's like, you know, sir, I come here and I think you have done wrong, and I take away your gun. And so that's kind of what he did because Special Agent Spanberger, thought it was a good idea. But anyway, we've got these many and varied attacks on our unfortunately alienated human rights. But we've got this situation that happened in I can't remember because there were two shootings. Okay, so the one with the guy by the name of Mohammed Baylor Jallo or whatever. He was one of the school shooter people.
Uh-huh.
And
so I just want to go ahead and point out here.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the Jews were right. It's not us you have to worry about.
Oh, the Old Dominion one. That's what that one was. So let me see here. We've got. Let me see if I can get the menu. Here we go. We'll just read it from the Virginia Pilot because they say it very well here. A man once convicted of offering support to a terrorist group burst into an ROTC classroom at Old Dominion University on Thursday morning and opened fire, killing one person, wounding two others.
What happened to him? What kind of classroom did he enter? What was his critical mistake?
He did go into a ROTC classroom.
He did. He saw ROTC on the door and went, you know what? I don't know what that means anymore. I know who I want to target.
But let's give a little bit of background on Mo. Mo is a former Army National Guardsman. Because of course, we're
why is he former?
Well, it doesn't really say in the article here, but I have no doubt it might have something to do with the follow-up. That being that in February of 2017, he was sentenced for providing support to ISIL.
That's exactly why he's a former.
Mm-hmm. There is that, and then of course also upon driving into the building, he was heard to mention a snack bar. Oh, I'm reading this incorrectly. No, he said Aloha snack bar. No, Allahu Akbar. Oh, excuse my reading insufficiencies here. I want to make sure and get that out correctly.
Oh, no, I think you might have that wrong. I thought he said like Christ is King or Baruch Hashem.
Oh no, God is great. That's right. That's what he said.
There we
Asterisk.
go. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, God is great.
yeah.
Asterisk. He
He said
said.
Godspeed, and then took off carrying on about his day.
Yeah, anonymous sources state that he made a statement in regards to his faith,
Ah,
and then terrible incidents occurred. See, look at me. I should work for CNN. I'm so good at this.
yeah, man.
So,
You can teach the clubs how to do that.
yeah,
You know what they say? Don't do anything you're good at for free.
right. It's like, yo, Barry, put in a call for me. I'll go do what you're doing, except for CNN, and make them like cooler. I mean, I won't make them lie less, but I'll make their lies sound better. That's that's what you do. That's that's what you do. So, also, let me see if I can find the info because I did look this up specifically because there's oh, I think I've got it on my timeline. Let me see here. So there was the other one. The other one went pretty much as disastrously for the potential shooter, who also
you say that like there were only two, man.
well, they're the two that are being reported on. This one being the synagogue shooting, in which case we had
it was less of a shooting. It was more of a drive-in.
Well, no, he got shot.
This is true. He did get shot.
Yeah,
He was shooting.
Yeah,
but he also was driving briefly.
Right. Well, and that's what I want to kind of get into. In that these fucking Wile E. Coyote motherfuckers really kind of don't understand how the world works.
Nope.
So, I've got some. So I've got some video from. Is this the same day or is this the day before? Okay, so in the days leading up to that, he'd gone to a Phantom Fireworks in. In Dearborn Heights. He got about $2,000 worth of fireworks, and so the initial reporting, just to clarify, because we didn't really report on this because the initial reporting doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail. Just kind of this guy rammed into it. There was a fire. He was shot and nobody else was hurt. Or there were actually some injuries, but I mean nobody else was killed.
He had professional grade fireworks and a bunch of gasoline in his car.
So,
and not just in the main tank, like in bottles and cans.
No. So, and that's what that's really why I want to go into this. Because this is actually, aside from the whole culture part of this is literally our beat. So, he bought $2,250.96 worth of fireworks, which the cashier, and there's even video of it here too, the cashier noted that he purchased fireworks with names such as Military Demolitions and Da Bomb, that he was looking for ones that sounded more impressive or powerful.
Let's be clear on this, though. When you're selling fireworks to the plebes, that would be us. You'd make it sound like let's not negate the fact that we have an entire culture built around celebrating just how well we kicked England's ass.
True.
Like the fact that there's a military sound to a lot of the names of fireworks is not a surprise. This is not like I know this is going to work on a bunch of single moms on SSRIs at home.
Well, that's why I mentioned it. Actually,
tell me more.
That's specifically why I mentioned it, because basically what happened here, Mo, another Mo, go figure. Mo here basically was the SSRI wine mom. He sees the big cool name and he's like, "Oh, this will do the thing. This will bring grace to Allah," or whatever the fuck he was thinking.
You gotta say, he's not Slavic, man. Careful with your accent.
Da, comrade. Anyway, so Mo, he buys a bunch of shit at the Phantom Fireworks, and my mistake, Livonia. He's from Dearborn. Well, he was living in Dearborn, I should say, naturalized and what have you. Anyway, everything went fine. He did his thing, but the long and short of this is this Wile E. Coyote motherfucker thought that you just buy a bunch of bombs and a bunch of accelerant and you put them together. Then you put number 3 ? Then number 4, martyr. There you go. Yeah. If this doesn't make any sense to you, it's not so fucking supposed to. This fucking dumb idiot went and bought a shitload of fucking fireworks. At very best, he opened them up and emptied them out into a bucket or a box or fucking something. At best.
Let me tell you that the stuff we put into fireworks is no joke.
No. If you're not an idiot, you can make that into something very dangerous. Note the thing I said 2 times before I said you can make that very dangerous. And the fact that I, again, referred to Mo here as kind of a SSRI-addled wine mom. So, anyway, he burns himself nearly to a crisp and then gets out of the car to do his jihad and ends up getting shot.
They didn't get out.
Oh, did he not even make it out?
No, because his doors were rammed into the walls because he drove into a hallway. He was trying to shoot people.
So he was self-immolating, and so what really happened? What really happened is something more of a mercy killing for a man who had decided to self-immolate.
Yeah, but he was trying to shoot people through the windshield. Of course, he was stuck inside his car because he couldn't get out the doors, and he was too stupid to crawl out the front. And he was getting shot at through the back of the car, so he decided to do the old toe trigger, pulled himself a Hemingway after he lit the thing on fire. And unfortunately, as it turns out, you can't just pour gas on yourself and on the fireworks and light yourself on fire and have everything go off at once.
Yeah.
That's the part where he's a fucking Wile E. Coyote retard.
Yeah, believe it or not, the Acme rockets won't actually shoot you to the moon. I know. Crazy.
And they managed to put it out before all the fireworks could go off, which is lucky for them.
Yeah.
Because that would just be more building damage, frankly.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, once again, here's the thing, is you can point out, this happened at a synagogue, and why can't those sane people just kill each other over there? They're not just here to kill Jews. And those Jews are Americans. They're part of the wider target. This is what they meant when they said globalize the Intifada.
Yeah,
they meant all of us.
Whatever you think about Christian Zionism and heresy, either way, it's that's secondary to the whole thing. It just is.
The idea is they are here to commit jihad, to wage war. Like this is jihad meaning war or struggle. It's or fights. Like they're here to do it. There's military, there's spiritual, and then there's political jihad. They're here to do all 3. Proselytizing is not enough for them. Conversion is what they're after. Conversion, subjugation, or elimination. And they know they can't convert Jews, so they go directly for extermination. This is why they did the same thing with Christians. That was the Armenian genocide. And then they convinced Hitler to do the same thing to Jews. That was the Holocaust.
To be fair, I don't think that was Muslims that did that. Just to be completely clear there.
No. Palestinian nationalists were the reason why Hitler chose to do the final solution. And he based it on the Armenian genocide. Which is, kill them. Don't try to remove them.
Well, yeah, but then there's that whole... all we can say, it's a good thing they went ahead and got Argentina ready so that, he was able to retire there.
Yeah, like I said.
but anyway.
At this point, it's political intrigue.
Right. Speaking of political intrigue, boy, I could go anywhere with that. Which one do I want to go with? Oh, I think we'll go with the age verification deal, and because this one actually does involve a little bit of political intrigue. So, we've had lizard man himself, Mark Zuckerberg, kind of say that he's not necessarily all in on the age verification nonsense here and there. But anything that...
Zuckerberg. Sorry. Gotta say that one.
Well, anything that that he/it says in such a way can be utterly and completely regarded. What happened is somebody out there, one of those dear autistic adons, decided to dive into the numbers. And what they found is that there's about $2 billion in nonprofit and lobbying grants and such. So Meta's lobbyists literally wrote the age verification law out of Louisiana.
Multiple states.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one that's the OS level shit. Now, one of the... this is something that we actually reported on in a completely different industry. But the game's always the same. So what would happen there? You'd have your OS level, this and that. Any Meta property, platform, what have you. Oculus, for instance, is a purely Meta platform. It would have no such requirements. This is much like what happened with Springfield Armory, when they did a whole endorsement of new gun control legislations that were to be put in place in, I believe, Illinois. And, well, why would they do that? Well, guess what? Carve out. So in addition to that, we got 70 plus million in super PACs deliberately set up fractionally, kind of made small, made hard to see, so that they don't come across as big as they are. Well, again, it took an autistic anon to go out there and dig through all the numbers to figure this shit out, and they did. Also, on every single social media bill, Meta is involved. Every single one that has gone through in the past years. Let me see here.
I'm not surprised at all by this.
Yeah, but this is I'll throw a link in here for the basic... Oh, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be. And we reported on a lot of it. But again, we're at that point where we can now say definitively, oh, yes, we were right. And here's the receipts.
Right.
And that, again, that's what we do. That's why we're here. Oh, and speaking of receipts, there's a super interesting chart that has recently... let me see when this data was released. I don't have the exact date, but it's got it's the rape conviction rate applied across an annual net cost per person. And, well, those per capita results are quite staggeringly bad. At the bottom left, with 1 times the rape conviction rate and less than 0 cost per per annum per resident, we have Denmark. Great, good job, Danes. That's real cool, guys. It seems like you really normalize and incorporate into societies. Then above that, almost double. Mind you, double of 1, and still, mind, below 0. So, a net positive to whatever economy they have found themselves in. Romanians. So, it would appear that Romanians do rape at a slight rate. Then we move well over into the chart when everything else starts, with Pakistani immigrants and Iranian immigrants at the just sub $10,000 per year in cost to the taxpayer individually per immigrant, at rates of around 5 and 6 or 7% times the base rate. Turkey a little bit above that, then Morocco, and then the whole thing just bell curves straight up until you get to where? Somalians, of course.
Oh, you can tell.
Oh, I mean, that's all to tell. They're at something around 20 times the regular rape rate and something about $24,000 per year per person.
Now, I've seen this chart, and
this is
it's
out of
20
this is
times,
out of Denmark.
It's
just
20
out of
times the minimum rate,
Mm-hmm.
which would be a Danish. That's the benchmark.
Yeah. But per capita's a motherfucker.
That's a relative rate.
It certainly is.
So, whatever the Danish rape rate is in places that they are not from, gotta keep in mind though, it's a nationality, not an ethnicity. So,
Sure.
Are these really Danes that are doing all the raping?
Well, it appears that Denmark actually does keep some of the data, unlike some other countries which seem to want to utterly destroy that data because it is fucking disastrous when it comes to light. Like France, for instance, where they don't keep the religious or racial background of criminals. And all of a sudden, you've got all these Frenchmen that are doing all these rapes. All of a sudden, I guess they just got all rapey. All of a sudden, and what is it they say? And then all of a sudden, for no reason at all, the white men begin to hate. Anyway, what a time we find ourselves in. So, out of Utah and Taylorsville, there was a shooting, actually. Shooting on the 26th of February by a member of the fucking Taliban.
Uh-huh.
The Taliban. Now, I'd like to read you the title of the article as presented by KSL. KSL Utah.
Uh-huh.
Gang member shot by Utah trooper in liquor store charged with attempted murder. Mind you, the gang is the Taliban.
Isn't that more of a
literally an international fucking designated terror organization.
Isn't that more
what
of
are
a
you
doing?
doing?
You know, that's the government of Afghanistan. So
yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the whole thing is like just kind of a robbery gone wrong, went into a shit show, and again, just you can't hate the media enough. And if you think you can, you're not trying hard enough. That's the long and the short of this story. Yeah, some fucking Taliban guy did some dumb shit and died, but more, you don't hate the media enough.
Hold on a second. Are you saying somebody did something there?
I know. It is hard to believe, but sometimes things do happen. Who'd have ever guessed, right?
I mean, I haven't baffled.
No, and speaking of things happening, it appears that our dear friend has joined us.
Well, that is an excellent timing then.
I am, yeah. I'm sorry, guys. We're still trying to get the beat down.
Oh, no worries. Well, before you go, Craig, I've got some great news.
Oh, I have a question before Craig goes, too.
Oh, do tell.
No, yeah, it's a Jew-specific question. So I was arguing with idiots on the internet all week because I have, I have about 5 minutes multiple times a day. It's not a one contiguous thing, but it's about 5 minutes once everything. So in any case, one of the folks decided to debate abortion, and realistically, my own personal moral stance, like from a logical standpoint, I'm anti-abortion. From a like personal stance, I don't really care, but I don't really. I hate the illogical arguments. So in any case, one guy who was an idiot came in and told me that the Jews are perfectly fine with it, and it's the Christians who have basically fucked up scripture. And so as our authoritative Jew, what is the Jewish stance? The position of Jews. Now, obviously, I understand that Jews are not a monolith and blah 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 blah.
It's the life of the mother. The life of the mother is the standard. Everything else. So, if the life of the mother is in danger, the baby will kill the mom.
Yep.
then it's kind of up to the mother. So,
Well, I would.
I like this.
I mean, even
I put it like this: if killing the baby saves the mother, and there's no other way to do it, then it is allowed to save the mother. If doing nothing, there's a chance the baby and the mother will both die. You save the mother because you save a life versus lose 2 lives. That's basically the wiggle room where you can say that Judaism allows abortion. If you're just killing a baby, it's not allowed.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So, as a conservative Jew, that's basically that's kind of the standard in the faith. A Reformed Jew might be a little more hippy-dippy about it, and then the further away you get from denominational, there's going to be people who wear their faith as a shield on that shit in just the most disgusting way, in my opinion.
Well,
in general, Judaism allows abortion to save the mother, which is basically kind of what we do with what people expected of abortion anyway. Safe, legal, and rare, and for the exceptions. It wasn't a convenience thing when it was sold to us as a people.
Yeah, basically everybody reasonable had the Rush Limbaugh point of view up until they didn't.
Right.
Well, I shouldn't say that. There were very reasonable people on the other side that were like, we actually have programs in place where we could just take care of these children because we do have this looming population crisis. Foreshadowing.
There's no provision in Judaism for if it's the psychological health of the mother. That's all bullshit. It's not a thing.
Yeah, kind of the same in Christianity.
Well, and again, I've sat there and logic through it, and ultimately, there's one. The rape exception is the question of conflict of interest, right?
Right.
Choice was not allowed. All the other stuff, everything else, choice happens early on, and that's kind of the whole thing. When it comes to,
would probably be agreeing on the rape thing, but rabbis would probably counsel towards keeping the kid.
Well, and that's I think the thing, right? I'm not
right
in terms of where it should be available,
right?
Based on choice.
Counsel towards keeping it too.
That's
the thing.
And I would agree. I would agree that you should be counseling, and there should be resource. But when it comes to health of the baby, if the baby's not viable, then it's not killing a human being. No moral problem. When it comes to the health of the mother, then it's self-defense, and it's not murder.
Right.
And so it's a pretty
legal argument for that.
Yeah, it's a pretty simplistic thing. Somebody was saying that the Jews unilaterally held abortion to be moral and righteous and basically at the discretion of the mother.
I've actually heard the opposite.
And I didn't know if that was true or not because I'm not familiar with.
Well, not entirely the opposite of that.
Shit.
I've heard that's within for Jews would say that no, you should never do that. That's the thing that I've heard for forever.
Well, in general, the Jewish law on this is pretty clear, and it's you don't get to take a life.
Oh, well, there you go.
Unless it's like I said, if you're going to lose the mother and the child, then you save the mother. If you're going to just lose the mother, then you save the child.
Tallarico, I think he went on Rogan, or at least it looks like some clips.
That fucking guy.
In any case, he turned around and has made the argument that the original stuff comes from the Old Testament.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Where God breathed life into Adam, and I'm like, that's not what that fucking says. Right? God breathing life into somebody is not somebody taking their first breath. That's God physically breathing life into it. It's also an individual who's made out of clay and
it's
all sorts of other stuff.
He grabbed some fucking clay from the ground and made the thing into a person. Come on. You're going to literal the one and not the other? What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And so Tallarico's argument is specious, but I have seen people trying to start arguing that is the Jewish argument and everybody else is perverting it. And I'm like, well, I just don't know enough about the Jewish arguments one way or the other to weigh in on this. It doesn't affect my argument in any way, shape, or form, but I do seek to be informed about the views that other people hold on things. I think that's a thoroughly rational thing to do. And if that is the Jewish thing, I should know that in the future. I'm not saying it would change my stance one way or the other, but it's good to know.
Yeah, better to be informed than not, to be sure. So before you go, Craig, there's a new Windows 11 update, because of course there's one every week. And as always, top quality.
Well, now they've got
work.
a whole bunch of AI engineers, so it's just going to be the best stuff.
They do, and they've been
Vibe coding,
trained by
totally how this is going to go.
They've been trained by the street shittingest Dalits that there ever were. So this new bug,
which actually makes me have another question for Craig, but that's a separate thing.
Well, yeah. Oh, you'll love this. You'll love this. So the new one this week, it makes your C drive become inaccessible.
Yes, it does.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Last time it was you can't use the internet. This time it's you can't use anything.
Yep. I'm fully expecting the next update to roll out is just going to flat out delete your System 32.
Yes, it's going to go into
vibe coding for the win.
It's going to go into command prompt and it's going to say delete star.star. I got to tell you, back when we did computer networking shit for Andros Island Sister School when I was in high school, and we got to go and fuck up some Windows 98 computers to replace them. Being able to confidently type in delete star.star and see just how long it could last was pretty goddamn funny.
Fair.
Like that was actually just one of those great memories. Just watching it just keep going and going and going and then stop and just seeing which things were dying. Yeah, go ahead.
As a question for the group, right?
Yeah.
It's been the last time I installed Linux was probably about 2008, thereabouts. Summer of 2008, maybe 2009. I think. Trying to think here. Yes, probably somewhere about there. And so Linux was amazing. I loved working with the system. I was like, holy shit, this is going to dominate over Windows. What I didn't anticipate was the issues with Windows legacy software integration is really what keeps Windows going.
Yes.
That being said, it is. It's a huge deal. So the real question is, has Linux gotten better? Has it gotten to the point where it's, and gaming was a serious sore point back in 2008.
Gaming is
DirectX didn't work.
Yes, actually,
most of the
shit
didn't work.
But it's a lot better. It's way better.
So what I would recommend is if you have an old box to go ahead and put Linux on that, and to just have some fun.
You should probably have like an old video card and like an old board around. So yeah, build a
I probably do, but like ultimately the question was, is it worth switching away from Windows?
Well, that's why you might want to throw together like a cheapo gaming rig and see what you can actually pull off with it.
So I generally get to enjoy. I'm fucked over here because I enjoy Windows subsystem for Linux a lot. It allows me to get a lot of the stuff that I want to do done with Linux with a non-GUI version of it, effectively. But I don't have to leave Windows to do it. So, I get to have my cake and eat it too, as long as I still have Windows 10 and WSL2. Going to so when you go to pure Linux environment, you want to run Windows stuff. You basically have to run it through, not an emulator, mind you, but like Wine, which stands for Wine is not an emulator. Wine is a great example of a kind of a compromise that almost works for everyone.
And on that, just as a real quick, because it is something we reported on a couple of months back. Somebody's got a kind of an interpreter that works. I can't remember what layer it works at, but it's basically like just interpreting the calls from one to the other directly, and it's really quick. So Linux is very much on the way up.
Yeah, so Linux is getting good compatibility. It's most people will still start with like Mint or Ubuntu, Mint being a great one to work with.
But it looked
fuck the
like there was a
broken
couple
down.
other new distros which were really great.
Yeah, yeah. Now I would. You can go to Distro Watch, and that'll point you to a ton of them.
Yeah, like
So
there was a couple that looked like they were really built for gaming. So
now
I was just
there's
wondering,
gonna be there's the whole Ex Libre versus Wayland debate and all that other jazz. You don't have to worry about that so much. You can get into it if you want to. Basically, a lot of the Alphabetterati are backing Wayland, which is so versus Ex Libre.
yeah,
or
that was a
X-Force.
few. That was months ago.
That's still happening. It's still an issue.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's not going to go away until one of the two dies or until they get fucking evicted from Wayland, because they're trying to rewrite a whole fuck ton of stuff in Rust too, the Rustations. It's silly shit.
Yep.
But it is what it is.
Interesting. Yeah, because I remember that being a thing several months ago, and it was like they killed some distro that was a really popular distro because somebody said something on one of the forums that wasn't like trans friendly or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a master slave designation or some shit like that. One of those things. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they got all upset about whitelist versus blacklist.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It's so fucking it's all pedantic and petty bullshit.
Completely performative nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, and they do this entirely so that they can take over and then start implementing their own nonsense. Like the same people who want you to identify yourself when you log on to an operating system are the same kind of people who want you to pick your fucking gender when you log on to an operating system. It's just completely pointless performative bullshit.
And let me see here. So,
well, that is good to know.
Yeah. So before you go, in some non-performative, actually potentially really good news, out of Representative Ogles, I don't know, out of Tennessee.
Yes, but he's been pissing off all the right people recently.
Oh yeah, he's got something big, something real big.
The Assimilation Act is going to be amazing.
Yes, sir. And what he wants to do with this is to
what?
The Assimilation Act. It will do away with Hart-Celler. Boom, gone. It will do away with H-1Bs. And it's like something else too. It ends
Basically,
H-1Bs.
if you come from a country
it ends change migration, and like a couple of other little things here and there. It's
the basic idea here is if you come from a country that has a culture that is antithetical to ours, then you're probably not welcome here. And assimilation.
The super long and short of this is it would put us back into like kind of a 40s, 50s immigration standard.
Basically, if you can't assimilate here, you're not welcome here.
Well, the 40s, 50s standard was actually to the point of what was it? It was like assimilated by blood density in the United States general thing.
Yeah, well, like I said, in short, it's not that.
And ultimately, none of that matters if we can't get rid of the people here who are here illegally.
True.
Right.
That's
That's
true.
kind of the point. I was trying to explain to someone recently that, the notion here is that, you can't do amnesty without a hard border, and you can't do it with the border insecure at the time you're doing it. It's just impossible. And that amnesty is not the answer. Because every time we've tried it, it's always just made the problem worse. It is shooting ourselves in the
Reagan.
foot.
Fuck's sake. But yes.
We've tried it multiple times.
Every time. Yeah. You know what we get with amnesty? We get the same thing when you try communism. Oh, no, well, maybe next time.
So, I feel for the people, but the idea is that you can't have a welfare state and an open border. You have to pick one. Regardless of how you want to go about it, you cannot have an open border and give stuff away, because you just like it's like attracting flies is the wrong way to put it, but like you get the idea.
Oh, but speaking of attracting vermin, just before you go, because I know you would want to hear this, because every day we have Chad Allen Carr, former Democratic mayor of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. He's been arrested on multiple charges. Can you guess what? Big ally kind of guy. Does that help you?
Child porn.
Yep. But also, 2 counts of that. 2 felony counts of a photograph, film, or depict on computer sex act child. Oh, fucking legal terminology, whatever. And 1 count of corruption of minors.
Child touching? That wouldn't surprise me either.
Corruption of minors. So I think it was in hopes of touching, because that would probably be some kind of actual sexual assault or molestation charge or some shit like that. But yeah, he was probably trying to groom a child, and then also possessed images of post grooming, shall we say? Well, big ally. Anyway, this comes 2 weeks after he resigned mysteriously.
I am super shocked.
I know.
I did not see this coming.
Only every time, right? It's just every time. And well, was there anything you wanted to get out before you head out on us?
Go check out my buddy Sarge's channel.
All right.
Fun content will be there. Me losing at Halo.
There you go. Yeah, if you want to see Craig lose, there you go.
Well, that sounds like fun.
There's some moments where I win, but by and large, not doing the best.
Man, when I hop on Battlefield, I'm lucky if my KD ratio stays above 1.
Yeah, I told him at the onset, because we were playing Slayer, that I'm better at CTF. But, is what it is.
Oh, sure enough. And who's not good at that? The first Mo, the Mo out of Virginia, that the Old Dominion. We'll call it an attack, because he did get off some rounds, but it ended about as well as I could hope for it being a college campus. They beat his ass to death, literally.
So the reason why he died was because one student disregarded the rule that you cannot bring a knife onto campus.
Oh, really?
Classroom.
Really?
Yeah, an ROTC grunt stabbed that motherfucker to death.
Oh, they didn't just beat him to death. Ah, even better.
They fucking shivved him.
Who did they kill? And why?
So, there was the synagogue attack, and then there was the university attack that both happened on like the same fucking day, a couple of days ago, on the 12th. So the synagogue one, the guy basically tried a Wile E. Coyote move and poured a bunch of gunpowder into a bucket and a bunch of gas in another bucket, lit him on fire, and ran into a building. And then the other one was this guy rams into the ROTC section of a university.
Yeah, he decides to take out a university, and what classroom does he land in? ROTC.
Yeah, like of all the places you could go, there's only one place where there's actually a very legitimate chance they are actually going to have ARs. And so, whatever. They thank goodness they aren't sending their best. I mean, just like we were reporting fucking last week.
I want people to understand, though,
on New York City, like those were literal explosives. They were just not adequately prepared.
Well, the one of them, I was looking at the photo, and it was clear that the tap key was still just a little bit wet.
Yeah, it's like if you'd have just done your work a little bit better.
No, it's even worse. They determined that it's clear on video. The reason it didn't go off, the first one that was thrown, was because the fuse went out when it got soaked in water. They weren't using Visco.
Yeah.
They're using obvious fuse.
Well, I think the funny thing is that
9/11, and they would have martyred Mamdani, and then said that he was the target, which they tried to do on CNN, mind you. Those dumbass motherfuckers.
Well, the fun part is that what happened was so blatant that the left ate shit on it. Right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
the left
Here's the thing,
actively tried to cover it up.
Target. It's not. The thing is, it's not even a sympathetic target. Like Jake Lang is an asshole.
Yep.
Like you could just let him be the asshole, and he would ruin shit for the right. But no, they have to fucking justify him. They have to vindicate this man, who's already an asshole.
Yep.
It's just amazing stuff.
Personally, I wouldn't say he's that much of an asshole. I'd say he's been egged on by a world of assholes, but... You know,
I mean, he comes out and he says
whatever.
America's for white people only, and then does
if we look at the founding documents...
You got to go ahead. You got to admit when an asshole is an asshole. He is an asshole.
Yeah, fair.
See, look,
I'd lean a little bit more into the
Hitler breathed oxygen
but
too. That doesn't
whatever.
mean we should all hold our breath. This guy says stuff that might be on point, but he also says a lot of really dumb shit.
Yeah.
So,
the
fact that he is now being targeted out in the open like this.
Oh, well, that's the funny thing
the
is it absolutely legitimizes everything that he stands for. So, good job, retards.
That's exactly look.
Like, oh, you don't like what he stands for? All right, well then why are you turning him into a martyr, idiot?
Right. The reason why is so that they can then frame everyone else who has anything to say that's similar to him as identical to him. That's the reason why they want him martyred.
Good times.
And that's the thing is, once you can paint that guy with a label, anything he has ever said, including legitimate points, are all on the fucking on the menu.
Oh, and just to correct what I had said earlier, I said a man from India had come to Virginia to steal your rights. It was a man from Bangladesh. I do like to correct the record here. Be completely honest on
India
that.
Light.
Yeah, but just saying.
That's India with a B.
Oh, but real quick before we go, because it does actually directly, I think, pretty well, directly ties to you, we should probably touch on this real quick, because I'd also like your thoughts before you hit it for the night.
Okay.
The Indian mass reporting and certain accounts that find themselves banned very quickly and for sometimes permanently, sometimes for very short amounts of time.
I recently had a suspension.
Yeah, you don't say.
Now, admittedly, that might have been because Nikki Tabir had him and his vibe coding team had decided that they were going to make it super easy for people to get fucking suspended. Because all content was suddenly inauthentic content for a while.
Yeah, kind of.
Fucking retarded.
But that said, there are Indian online gangs, if you like to use the term, that are basically out here mass reporting, mass following, unfollowing accounts to
thousands of them in the same
everything.
WhatsApp groups.
Mm-hmm. Telegram and WhatsApp.
Happening. Thousands of them in the same WhatsApp group, same Telegram channel, are mass reporting at the same time. And if you say something and the Hindutva accounts catch you, that would be the Hindu nationalist accounts, then they will spam you. You'll see some of them show up in replies. Most of them don't reply to you. Most of them will spam the report button, and some of them will DM you. But if you'll know when you've got their attention, because they will come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And they are cunts.
Oh yeah. They will work tirelessly to ruin, to shit up the streets of the internet, if you like the phrase.
They like the poo-poo.
They do. They all I can say to that is minus 1,000 isots to you.
Yes. No jihad.
None. Not
or not jihad.
Not earned
all right.
at all.
They need to take
overtired
care of that
babies, man. Crazy shit.
Oh yeah, true.
Ha, crazy
Crazy shit. Well, he's like, obviously I'd like to have him go to bed earlier, but so we tried doing things like waking him up early, but he doesn't want to go to bed because things are happening, which is really a trait that's like he's a little early on some things, right? Which is kind of expected because random variation, right? He recognizes mirrors, that's early. Language development is a little early, but unfortunately, going to sleep is not something we like to do. We don't mind napping. Like, that's okay. But going to sleep is a problem.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Speaking of going to sleep, that is my cue.
Righty,
gentlemen,
sir.
have an amazing week. And I'll catch you on the next one.
Indeed, sir.
And also, I see that a gentleman is in general. You might drag him
we have got a Craig replacement on the way, so no worries.
Right. You guys have
Seamless transition.
Who's that? Me? Was that me?
No, actually, that's gonna be our friend Sam.
Oh, what's up, bud?
Oh, not much. How you guys doing?
Oh, making it happen.
Causing trouble.
Well, Craig's not here, so you guys can't be causing too much trouble anymore.
Oh, what are you talking about? He's a pussy.
Well, he's the one who keeps getting banned off of X and then reinstated.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. We were thinking that.
Wait, he got banned again?
Oh yeah, for about 8 hours.
Oh, what do you do?
Good question.
Probably deserved.
Well, that's why I kind of segued into the whole Indian banning groups thing, because honestly, it could be any number of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I found out that Grok can analyze your tweets and estimate your IQ. And so I was playing around with that. It helped me screen who I don't want to talk to anymore.
Fair.
If their argument was stupid, it turned. There was one guy. I think he was kind of in that realm for the guy I think I was having the debate with on abortion. After like 2 lines, he went to whatever, and I sat there and I like, X, tell me what's his IQ, and it's like somewhere around 90. I'm like, oh yeah.
There you go.
Of course, I asked it what mine was, and it said mine was solidly between. It could be between 1 and 115 or 125 to 135, depending on whether or not my credentials are correct or are real. I'm like, well, okay, so it's like 135. It's like, oh yeah, here's the thing, but it's not super crazy high intelligence because he's not using fluidic reasoning. Of course, it's only analyzing 15 tweets, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, motherfucker, you got to pay for my fluidic reasoning. Like,
right?
X is not the medium
money
to like have a long philosophical drawn up. Like, I've tried to have the discussion on like the mathematics associated with my alternate theory on gravity, and it's like a 5-page thing that I write in a Google Doc thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and post that to X. Nobody ain't gonna read that. Nobody cares.
Or as they say,
and of course, I
got
offered
time
to
for that.
analyze Elon Musk stuff. I'm like, I'm sure you're gonna fucking give me an accurate answer there. Like, but it's interesting. I haven't run it against Craig. I do have to run it against Craig.
To be fair, Grok's AI is way better than Meta's AI, or whatever.
I
am not impressed with Grok.
That's not a great accomplishment, to be fair. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not impressed with Grok at all.
I
actually, Gemini's come a long way. Gemini's pretty good.
Well, yeah, but Gemini used to be really absolute garbage, so, you know.
Oh yeah. No, it was like dumpster fire. But I have
like, you've got this tin eye black and white television, and all of a sudden, you're looking at Sesame Street cartoons in color in 1984. It's like, oh, hey, this looks great.
Yeah. Yeah, I have so they upgraded my Alexa, and I hated that. That's the worst that I've seen so far. Amazon's AI is the worst.
Not
Grok is not impressive.
not appreciating
And now-
Amazon Spybot in your house.
I have a lot more exposure to Grok than I do any other AI because people use it to argue with me.
Grok, is
And
this true?
is this true? Is this a reasonable argument? Any one of those things. And like what you end up seeing very quickly with Grok is that, and I bitched about it the last couple of weeks, is that AI does not understand what's being said. It just,
Grok, what is the context?
it's clearly, yeah, like it doesn't understand. It
Grok,
doesn't
what is
understand. It
nuance?
does what the right. Google's AI has actually done what I want it to do when I want it to do it. It's now most of the time that I'm using that, it's voice commands, but where Alexa, which I interact with more often than the Google AI, Alexa's AI constantly misunderstands words constantly and gives me like incorrect whatever whenever I ask it a question. Google's does a very good job. Gemini is actually pretty good at verbal stuff, so I'm starting to switch over my smart home stuff to that because I wanted to have baby monitors be under Google, or just a baby monitor in general that's not a locked system. And Google has mostly okay abilities to do that. It's the least evil of the systems. That being said, it's got its own bugs. I've been troubleshooting. I think it's down to a network issue. I'm going to be buying a router, actually in a couple hours probably, from AliExpress, because I got a cheapo one and it doesn't quite reach the Nest Cam because Nest Cam's catty corner in the house, and it took me a while to troubleshoot that. I have to open the Nest Cam on my phone, and then bridge it to the tablet that I want it on, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, that's been my experience with AI.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I've started using Gemini because as a writer, I find that Gemini, as far as like long form writing, helps to like organize stuff the best as far as like organization and whatnot. And it actually will do like what I want it to do. I don't have to like prompt it over and over again. But yeah, I think Grok is good as long as you use it within the confines of Twitter, but like to do anything else, it's kind of shit, basically.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
That's been my experience.
It's got
with
its
Grok.
own. It's got its own kind of area of influence at which it is good. They kind of all do, realistically, which is actually kind of a good thing. At the end of the day,
I've yet to encounter any area in which any of them are good.
Well, you get what I'm saying, like where they have their greater ability, shall we say? But anyway. Goodness, where was well, yeah, rockets. Breaking news. That's the breaking news. Rockets in the Middle East. So, you've now been informed. They are flying and/or flew.
Who fired? Who's the target? Where's it going?
Iran, Israel. That's just all the answers.
Really?
To all of them, yeah.
Iran has never fired rockets at Israel. I wonder what got them so mad.
Somebody probably dropped the toast or something.
Yeah, those poor guys.
Well, you know how it is. When you got your toast,
I mean,
you get
granted,
the butter on it, you drop it, it falls
I
on the
do
butter.
understand. I talk to Greg on a regular basis. I do understand the source of their problems. I would be annoyed too if that was my neighbor.
Mm. Well, these things will happen. Oh, speaking of unpleasant neighbors, we should. Well, we don't have to, but it's funny. And so, with that, there was new boxing. Well, not new. They've actually had 13 of them up till now. But Aiden Ross has been running a boxing event called Brand Risk, and this last one was probably one of the brand riskiest. So he had Gypsy Crusader and Super Hot Fire, two streamers, as his headline match. And great match, by the way. If you caught it, it was highly imbalanced, completely one-sided, and yet still the Gypsy Crusader won. So it's a good match. Like you get a guy in there that looks like he knows a thing or two about boxing, not in perfect shape, and you got a guy in there that's in great shape, not the best cardio, doesn't know the most about boxing, but man, old Gypsy Crusader, he had a lot of heart. He took it home on a technical decision at the end of the match. So I would encourage people to check that out, but kind of interesting. The rest of it kind of boring. I didn't really catch much. I only got a couple of highlights, but it is what it is. And some of these streamer and influencer boxing and related things are actually kind of interesting. As long as they can stay away from the wrong kind of drama, like say your iDubbbz. That's all.
Or Ethan Ralph. But
well, he doesn't do much boxing these days, so I don't know if he's done any boxing actually, other than perhaps an officer here and there. But that's that's not really
sanctioned yet.
Yeah,
not sanctioned at least.
No, but that's a story for someone who's a little bit more. That's something that a casino kind of place might want to talk about. That's not really the highbrow intelligentsia of the fake Untitled podcast.
No, not at all.
We keep it classy here.
Yeah,
as classy as you can, anyway. But with that said, man, there is a lot that we could go over. So I guess one of the important ones would be to hit some more background on something that we've talked about a couple of times now. So age verification. Of course, Discord was doing their whole thing, and as we told you before, if you gave them any of your info, it's entirely possible you're on a government watch list now. But above and beyond that, they've got, of course, they dropped the last vendor ID, or ID verification service, fucking system, whatever, whoever, and went with a company by the name of Persona. Well, good news. Persona's been hacked. Let me see what the list of items here that is included in the hack. Let's hear. List government ID number with a hash mark says, government ID numbers. List IP address, list name, list phone number, list email address, list geolocation, list browser fingerprint, list device fingerprint, list face, list country, list field, list string, list selfie background. Boy, that's a lot of fucking data.
It's really frustrating talking to normies about this because they're repeatedly saying stuff like, well, why would you be against keeping children safe? And I have to just repeatedly tell them that it's not even about that.
The best answer to that one is, well, you support the free dogs for the homeless bill, right? You've heard about the bill, the free dogs for the homeless? Yeah, on the free dogs for the homeless bill, what we do is we murder all the homeless, and then we turn the dogs into cat food. So you support that, right? Because it's free dogs for the homeless.
Yeah.
Or, you can go for a more rational example.
Why? That's not fun. But do tell. I
mean, we had a bunch of stuff in Biden's term.
I thought you said rational.
No, there was. We had the perfect examples are the Inflation Reduction Act. That's a good one.
Oh, the Inflation and Reduction Act. Yes, it caused inflation and it caused reduction. I remember that one.
The Affordable Care Act. That's another great one.
Oh yeah.
That's a really good one. There's
realistically, the best part about the Affordable Care Act is that we can't pass it until we can't read it until we pass it.
The best part about the Affordable Care Act is the Democrats' line of defense on it right now is not that, hey, it was really awesome and we needed it, but the Republicans have failed to come up with anything better. That's their so like, which is a fair point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best point, but a point nonetheless, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
speaking of points, so here's something that we talked about some while ago, and how none of us found it particularly appealing or appetizing, or the fact that the protein's genuinely not that good. So the biggest insect farm in Europe has gone belly up. They've raised about
Really?
600 million euros in public and private funding, including about 200 million euros in taxpayer money from the EU and wherever else. And let me see, what was the name of this one? It was one of the French companies, one of the mealworm things. Let me see. What was the name of that one? Oh, Insect, but with a Y with umlauts. Insect. So yeah, they were going to be the source of sustainable protein. Never mind that it absolutely fucks your gut biome, and you can't process a whole bunch of the chitin that's in there. It'll just run literally right through you. But whatever, you know. Anyway, didn't work. And what, they even had they entered liquidation in December 2025 amidst soaring costs. Whew, wow. Revenue of $656,000 in 2023 with an $80 million outflow. Whew. That is a waste.
Well, you know, it's. I've read the research on why it is, you know, like more cost effective to raise insects. A lot of it comes down to water usage.
No, yeah, I mean,
more than anything else.
There is an argument to that.
There is.
Now,
that being said, like
argument,
I don't particularly buy into the argument that cows are inherently water intensive, because 9 times that, yes, they use a lot of water. Yeah, that's true, but they also return it directly to the ground. We actually talked about this
specifically, in that yes, they do use a lot of water, but the ways and the locations wherein that water is used are much less detrimental than you would be led to believe by just looking at the numbers. It's like the rain's going to fall, the grass is going to grow. You are either going to go out there with a mower that runs on gasoline and cut it, or you're going to let it grow, or you're going to send your goats out to eat it, or your cows out to eat it. So all of that sequestered water, and then you've got all this carbon sequestered in that meat. If you care about sequestering carbon, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a funny world. Funny old world.
Well, and humanity has been harvesting cows for how many, thousands of years?
We just started doing that. Come on now.
Yeah, just the other day.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, all that leather that you're seeing in antiques and all that, that's actually vegan leather. That's from plants. We've actually, we only just recently discovered cows and domesticated them. Like last 20, 30 years tops.
Yeah, I'd buy off on that. That makes sense to me. Yeah. That checks out.
That tracks. You know.
That sounds like the most Gen Z thing I've ever heard.
Well, food comes from the grocery store, Sam. You know that. Have you been to? That's where the food is, Sam. Duh.
Yeah, no, I've been to Whole Foods.
Because if you want food, you go to the grocery store. Hello.
That's exactly right. Like, who would? Why else? Where else are you going to go?
Right.
Like, why are you
going to go out in the forest or something?
Seriously. Like, we just shouldn't pay farmers. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably just give their farms to like college students, realistically.
Yeah, like seriously, those guys know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah. Well, they went to college.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Good, good old times. Good old times. Oh, so update from New York City and the gentleman who accidentally dropped their fireworks, or whatever the fuck the most latest headline is. So there was the guy that was
Two
literally
leisurely teens out for a stroll. What are you talking about, bro?
yeah. Well, those guys. They were just out, and they were shouting how they loved God, and then they wanted to share their fireworks with everybody, but they didn't go off or something like that. I don't know. There's somebody said something about nails and like TATP and whatever. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're not talking about them. We're talking about that fella that they leaned over to throw the IED. The guy who's like, "Hey, we hate white people. Get out of here." All that guy. Mr. Walter Masterson. That guy who put up the video and somehow has still not locked his account. I am amazed. But yeah, he's out there like, that's me. You may be asking yourself how I got in this situation. Anyway, so he's out there talking shit about Jake Lang and this, that, and the other, and basically saying, yeah, there's nothing really going on with this thing. Nothing's going wrong. Nothing's really bad. Well, funny thing, Mr. Masterson has a curious history. See, he's done a lot of traveling, actually. As a matter of fact, on January 5th of 2020, he traveled down to Washington, D.C.
Oh, I know.
And Walter.
Well, that's very nice.
Well, he went down to D.C. He found himself a really cool hat, nice red hat, and like a nice neck gaiter in the style of a American flag, and a nice red shirt. Funny enough, the shirt and the hat match. They were saying something about America being great, and so anyway, this Antifa guy, this Walter Masterson, put on his MAGA gear. This terrorist apologist, Mr. Masterson, put on his MAGA gear, and he stormed the White House on January 6th in a mask.
Did he really?
Yeah. We've actually got video. So, Walter's got a little bit of a history of fuckery, shall we say. It is a strange and funny small world sometimes. Incredibly small.
Now, I keep seeing this Jake Lang guy like referenced on Twitter, but I have no idea who he actually
for one, he's a J6 guy, and that was pardon. For one, for two, did you see the guy that kicked over the ice sculpture? I think in Minnesota, that was like reject ICE.
Yeah.
That's him, and he goes around. He's a what's the term? He's a rabble rouser. He does make legitimate points, but he'll also go out and just kind of say some fully edgy shit as well. He's in the vein of like your early Fuenteses and such, not like your modern mythical bottom of the horseshoe Fuentes.
Gotcha. So he's kind of a rabble rouser, but he's not like Dan Bilzerian or anything that.
Yeah, totally. Like, he's got legitimate concerns and complaints, but he'll occasionally just go out with some straight up bluster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty accurate. Okay, what else have we got? There's There's a lot we could go over, a lot we could hit, but I want to make sure we hit some of the real high points here that I know a lot of other people aren't.
I don't know if you guys covered this yet, but I saw something earlier today about how apparently the judge for the Charlie Kirk assassin trial basically blocked like the defense's request to exclude video evidence.
Oh yeah, basically, that
Basically.
guy's been shut down in all of his kind of out of the field defense ideas, from wanting it to be not publicly available to not allowing evidence. They've tried all their Hail Marys.
What evidence was he trying to get banned?
Uh, Basically like video evidence, and also like all the Discord logs of him like literally plotting to do the thing.
Good luck with that. Obviously, the judge has been making the right decisions across the board on this one.
Yeah.
No real complaints with that. And now, I have an unfortunate story, which is literally the opposite of that, and that one's going to be out of Breitbart. That would be that. Let me see, where does it occur? Was it Tennessee? Yeah, Tennessee. So there was a Tennessee grandma that was put into jail and stayed there for 6 months because facial recognition fucked up. So Angela Lips was arrested when facial recognition put her down as being responsible for bank fraud. Oh man, really? Damn. She lost her home, her car, and her dog, and then finally gets the charges dismissed when every record proves that she's not the person, she's not even there. So
That's
see.
like that's like Minority Report shit right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you got caught in an AI loop. You got a thing that's like, got the same name. It's got to be you.
Yeah.
And I'll throw a link to the story here. But yeah, the lady was in jail for 6 months and basically had her life completely turned upside down. And I fear that this is only the first of many such stories that we will have the displeasure of reporting on as we saunter into this brave new world in which we live.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Ay.
That actually, to kind of segue on that, one of the reasons why I wanted to come on is because I published a new book which kind of deals with some of that stuff as far as AI and disinformation and whatnot in my latest novel. So, yeah. Go check out American Inferno. It's available now on Amazon. So, it's my 5th novel. So, pretty psyched to get this one out there.
Yeah, right on. Congratulations.
So, thank you. Figured I would make the Fake Untitled podcast my first stop on the podcast.
Hey, there you
go.
Good.
So,
wise decision to stop at the largest podcast in its field.
Well, yes. Yes.
We are the biggest and most important podcast in our specific field.
Yes.
Yes.
I would agree.
We'll just leave it at that.
Believe that you didn't study marketing.
Hey. Well, what can you say? What can you say? Good times. Oh, so China, as everyone knows, very diverse, very ethnic nation, very much diaspora, etc. They've got a new law in there that's going to be going into effect very soon, and it just is. There's not really going to be any debate because it's China. You don't get to debate on laws; you get to obey them. So, what we got here out of The Economist, this new one is basically going to kind of homogenize things nicely. There's like the Han Chinese, and then there's the Han Chinese, and then the Han Chinese, and that's really all. So that's the long and the short there. But out of the out of The Economist here. China's parliament not known for its debates. I told you. Meeting for roughly 10 days every March. It exists to approve, not question. See? But it lacks in disagreement. It makes up for in colorful dress. Oh, that's lovely. The Great Hall of the People, where it convenes, becomes a parade of elaborate costumes on March 5th, its opening day. Changguan first spotted a man in a black cape with fiery swirls. Okay, let's skip the flowery words. Oh my God, I hate you. Fucking, I've got to pay for your shit. Whatever. Okay, long and short, basically, they're going to be trying to eliminate all of their ethnic minorities and basically make everything Han. The longest and shortest of it.
I mean, do they even have any ethnic minorities left?
Oh yeah, I mean they're working hard on the Uyghurs, but yeah, absolutely they do. Despite their best efforts, Sam, yes, they do somehow still.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been trying.
So I remember seeing this earlier, and I'm going to take the contrarian take as I do. I actually don't think it's a bad thing.
Well, you know, if we've seen where the diversity is our strength line has gotten us.
Okay. The short version is that China is a nation that is it actually is a very culturally distinct nation as a whole. Taiwan obviously is the ruling empire of China, and then you have the Chinese government, which was the communists, right? And so within that, you still have multiple different languages. This includes Mandarin. I can't remember all of the different types. I'll be honest, I'm terrible at
like,
the specific of Chinese
there's
cultures.
like 27 all said.
Right. And so what this bill actually does, you know, I understand that we can turn around and say we can criticize it for its you know, kind of ignorance of any other branch of Chinese other than the Han. The reality is that they're basically sick and tired of serving a multi-ethnic culture. And so everybody is going to be required to speak Mandarin.
Hashtag me too.
By the way, this is no different than us in the United States sitting there and saying, I am sick and tired of catering to all these motherfuckers.
What is it that the man
English
said?
Is the...
I see what you do for them, Jesus. And I ask you to do that for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
so I'm not critical of it. Like, I actually agree with the premise, and I think that we should adopt that here.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, real talk. Yeah, diversity is not our strength, and Japan is our greatest ally. Like, that's the long and the short of the both of those. But
like, there could be better ways that they handle it, sure. But
oh yeah, the Chinese kind of
it
fuck
comes down
everything
to
up
we're sick and tired of doing 30 different fucking languages. We're going to do one.
Like, would I like it if the res system was better? Yeah, but it is what it is. Here we are. You know, we live in the world of today. We got to figure it out and do it in a less authoritarian way than fucking Xinny Jinping. You know.
Mm-hmm. I'll be back. Baby's crying.
Hey, no worries, no worries. In other news that I know. This news is not going to get adequate coverage in our sector, so we're just going to break it right here. That is, you, dear listener, could be a ranch ambassador. So Hidden Valley Ranch is they're wanting to send some folks around the world to show everyone the glory of American ranch. They're wanting to have folks basically take ranch around Europe and try it on local stuffs. I would recommend traveling to Italy and trying it on your pasta. That will have no negative effects. It'll probably be a bridge building exercise, I would say. And will make you lots of friends. And then, you know, lots of folks like ranch on toast. After you leave Italy, head over to France. Get yourself a nice baguette. A nice fresh one, you know, while you're there, you know, maybe even offer to share. Have a little bit of ranch dipping sauce for your nice fresh baguette. Yeah, have yourself a nice bite of that tasty ranched baguette. Maybe offer to share some with the baker. You may want to have a stab vest. Actually, not for the baker, because, you know, they don't use a whole lot of knives in that, but actually for the fact that you'll be in France.
Yeah.
But if you're out here looking to maybe be an influencer, maybe you could be a ranch influencer. So this is also it fully is an America tie-in thing, like where we're doing the America 250 thing. This just kind of is part of it because ranch is it's silly, but it is kind of an all-American dressing or gravy or food stuff or whatever you'd like to call it.
Yeah. I would now see what I would do.
Oh, by the by,
is
$100,000 job.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely sign up for that. Now, the thing of it is
That's actually kind of sad.
You
I
could
make way more than that.
Well, true, but you would be a ranch ambassador.
Well,
Well,
also
That's true. Like I used to like ranch, but there's so many other dressings. Now that being said, I don't blame Hidden Valley for attempting to expand their market. Like power to them for attempting to. They've turned around and they've looked at things
the
rather
videos
than
out of
catering
at the very
to
minimum, the videos out
LGBT
of
nonsense.
oh yeah, so
They're
much
saying,
better
hey,
than
let's
that.
go approach the global market by actually integrating with the global market. I think that's great.
Yeah, no, it's kind of surprising that other brands aren't doing shit like this because aside from the whole it's going to be hilarious when they do it in Italy and France, it's actually good business and it's probably going to be a lot cheaper than a lot of your major marketing campaigns because you can just get some YouTube known something and say, "Hey, would you like to sign this contract to do some of the shit you're already doing and eat ranch?"
I just the biggest surprise for me is how little the dollar figure is. Like we see all these people who do the influencer thing, and I know because I've looked into it. Most influencers who are able to make a living about it don't actually make that much money. They're like 50, 60K a year jobs. It is
streamers
flat
do
out
not do super
lower
well.
middle class.
yeah.
Now, the upside is you make your own schedule. Like, there's a lot of pluses, but it's not a high income earning job. And this really reinforces that they know what the market is now, and it's not worth paying for.
Yeah.
It's also the influencer thing is really a grind too because you have to be on 24/7 and basically just live your entire life on camera.
Well, it's not just that. Like, I do the fake Untitled podcast, right? I don't expect this to be pulling in crazy amounts of money for me. I would love if I got a little bit of money, but really I just get to hang out with a couple of people that I like to hang out with.
One of these days, you'll be bringing home a paycheck. But yeah,
I have had YouTube shit blow up. I've had Twitter stuff blow up, and it sucks. Like, people suck. People suck a lot.
oh, they suck.
And when you're doing the influencer thing, like, I actually feel really. You look at like somebody like Asmongold, and you're like, all right, he's probably making a few $1 million a year. That's a real hard $3 million. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'd love to have it, but it's a really hard $3 million. Like, I turn around, I get up early, which sucks. I have to go to a laboratory. I get to deal with and talk to smart people all day long. Most of my work is in the operations side of things. I dabble a little bit in the actual raw science stuff. I get to pique my intellectual curiosity, and then I go home. And I'm able to have a kid, and I'm able to have my wife, and we live a life that's relatively obscure, and it is peaceful. Being out on baby leave is great that I don't have to do work, but I couldn't imagine being like I've done. I thought that I would like YouTube. I thought that I would like that stuff, but you end up reading the comments and they make you feel like shit.
Yeah.
Nobody has anything nice to say. So even when you get those 10, 15, 20,000 or multiple tens of thousands videos, you just end up feeling bad. So you're either a fucking sociopath or you're making enough money that it doesn't matter. Right?
Oh yeah.
Take a look at Tim Pool. I don't particularly care for his content anymore. I still watch him because I haven't found anybody to replace him. But
yeah,
realistically,
it's not as good.
It's clear that his money has gone down in the last year. Significant, right? All of his culture building endeavors have petered out. And he's kind of talked about it a little bit, but realistically,
well, I wouldn't say all, but I'd say a
you can see it in
lot
his
of the
content.
stuff that has a lot of stuff they were working on is seemingly not being worked on.
Yeah.
Well, they've talked about how they dropped their news division, and if you watch his videos now, it's very clear. And if you want to take a look at the titles on the videos,
Yep.
it's very clear. Like, he used to have a video that the video title, it would say thing happened, here's the nouns, verbs, and adverbs associated with a thing that happened. You'd get a little bit of like clickbaity stuff, these people got destroyed or whatever. But now, if you look at all the thumbnail titles,
every video has a clickbait title. Almost.
Yeah. It's a bait title. You'll never believe it happened. This person was, and it's like, it's terrible. And by the way, like, you look at Asmongold, a perfect example. He has a lot of similar stuff on his YouTube channel, but it's all clearly clickbait farming. And imagine having to do that. That is your whole persona. That's your only source of income. Like, I get to, I'm not solving the world's problems. I know that, right? But I get to go interact with construction folks. I get to sit there and deal with project managers. I get to deal with upper management. I get to see some cool shit. Not as much cool shit as people might think. But, and then I get to go home and I don't have to deal with any of that nonsense. I don't think I could do the Tim Pool job and be okay with making money without actually, like, discussing anything. And even then, like, again, like Evan was saying, right? He's dropped a lot of the content that he was going after, and he's talked about how he cut the newsroom out, and it's very clear because now his videos are a 10-second headline that he didn't even necessarily read, and then like 30 minutes of him riffing.
Yeah,
he's just punching the clock.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Well, I've been doing the Whitfield Report for close to 18 years now, and I could have done the whole clickbait thing if I wanted to, but it just felt icky and inauthentic, and so and it sucks because I think if the algorithm weren't so geared towards the clickbait thing, the Fake Untitled podcast, the Whitfield Report, and probably several other podcasts would be way more, out there as far as popularity.
In a more intellectual world.
Yeah. Even, and I've talked about this a little bit before, but like, I actually, was part of Turning Point back in the early days before Charlie became like super, super famous. And there was a clear shift between when I was there as a columnist and when Charlie Kirk started doing the Change My Mind videos that went viral, which happened kind of after my group of friends and I left the organization.
What organization did you work with? I'm sorry, I got a screaming baby in my headset. I'm trying to follow the conversation though.
No problem. Well, I never worked for Turning Point USA, but I was they had a columnist program back in the day, and so I used to write articles for them for Turning Point.
Got it.
So and then
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But it didn't make much money for them. So, you know, pretty much like the Tim Pool thing, they kind of cut the news, and commentary division, and that was it. So, but that's what happens. So,
Well, I understand that it happens, but like again, you talk about this ranch influencer position, right? Oh
Sure.
shit. It's netting 100K per year. Both my wife and I
yeah.
make more than that. You're required to travel,
Well,
and travel's not bad. But hold on, baby will be quiet in just a moment.
yeah, no worries. And
Travel's not bad,
to the point you're making there
but
too.
travel also sucks when you're doing it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he was hungry.
Oh, no worries. But yeah, that's that is true.
And so you're talking about this thing that's a 6-figure salary, just barely.
But
he's going to be
the side point to that, though.
Whoever's going to do it is going to travel all the time.
You're probably looking at an influencer who, like we were just saying, is probably not making anywhere near that. So,
well, I mean, that's true. That's true, and it's a stable job. But if you fail to hit your performance metrics, they're going to fire you.
that depends. There's not really a lot of specifics there. It might just be a full-on brand ambassador thing, in which case it's more about just make sure you're at the places at the times. But, we don't know that. But, that's still a valid point, nonetheless.
Like, it's the same kind of thing for, like, government jobs, right? I would love to be in a position in, like, Congress or the Senate. I think those would be interesting jobs. They pay decently well. But I do not want to deal with any of the crap associated with it.
Oh, speaking of crap, and a long, long tradition of it, I've got some really great news. So somebody finally called Adobe on their shit and actually got it to court, which, in this case, cancellation fees is what I'm talking about. So Adobe has reached a $150 million settlement over their termination fees and subscription cancellation fees as of just this last week. So they're going to have to be paying out $150 million to all these people that they've basically been charging exorbitant fees, or, well, you've got to finish out your month, or if you don't, or when the new month starts and you go to cancel, it's like it starts at 12 and 1 second at the AM and you're immediately charged. So like they charge you for the whole month. Well, you didn't cut it off in the last month. And if you go to cancel it at 11:59 and 59 seconds, then there's the monthly cancellation fee. You're gonna have to wait. So you have to cancel it at 12 and no seconds exactly, or basically you get your extra fees, which is obviously bullshit to anyone reasonable. So we've actually got some resolution on that finally. In addition, their CEO has stepped down for I believe he has been the CEO for the last 18 years and has kind of seen Adobe move from software that you own to software that you don't own, that you rent. As in you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Well, I guess maybe people just weren't super happy, if you can believe that.
Yeah, and the worst part of it is from what I remember, they were like one of the first brands to really do that model.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was absolutely tragic. I have still, to this day, got my student purchase copy of Adobe CS6 Photoshop. One of the
Same here.
Best purchases ever. It's great. It does everything I need it to do. It doesn't have any of the AI integration. Oh no, I'm so sad. It's just a tool that does what I say for it to do. Thank you. Why is this so hard? But yeah, here we are. All right, what else do we have here? We covered the Hart-Siller thing that Ogles is wanting to get rid of. Let me see. What else? We got some leaked data out of Elliot Brandt, CEO of IPAC, which is, I'll just include the data itself. Long and short, he's bragging about how they're in charge of all of Trump's security. So, I don't know. Read into that whatever you will. But I'd really prefer if it were, America first people, Americans only. But it is what it is. And in vaguely related news, lucky Larry Silverstein has decided to make another big money investment in what some people have described as something of a bit of a white elephant. Maybe, maybe not. We'll have to see how things play in the coming days and whether he takes out a second insurance policy. Anyway, Larry Silverstein has recently purchased the U.S. Bank Tower in L.A. at about $400 million at a steep discount because, as everybody knows, property values in SoCal are, you could say they're collapsing into their own footprint at freefall speed, if you wanted to say something like that. So he got a really good deal on it.
No, I'm shocked.
So, keep an eye on that building. So make sure it remains the icon that it is there and standing, whatever. But now, if he decides to keep the one insurance policy, probably going to be okay. If he gets two, well, we've been told that Iran is planning a strike on United States soil. So make of all of that what you will. However, everything turns around and we get this shit worked out. He's actually looking to make a shitload of money because according to the posting here, its proper valuation should be something around $1 trillion. So, 400 million investment to $1 trillion? I mean, maybe you don't have to insure it twice. Maybe you can actually just hold on to it and sell it this time, Larry. Wink. Not that, well, whatever. I just hope he doesn't bring any art students to decorate the place. That's all I'm going to say to that. But beyond that, and surprisingly, out of BlackRock of all places, they're throwing $100 million into something you'd never guess. Physical trades.
BBWs.
Plumbing, electricity, HVAC, the trades.
Who's doing this?
BlackRock.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the smart choice.
It legitimately,
right? Like, if you take a look, there's a whole lot of people who think AI is going to take over the world, but when you take a look at it, anything that's in the trades, my wife and I have already talked about it. We'll probably end up having to my wife and I are probably both going to end up having to reskill in a greater or lesser fashion. I need to learn AI if I want to try to keep a cushy job, but I really, I probably should pick up welding.
Welding's a good skill to have. That said, there's a new laser welder that's out there that a lot of the YouTube people are using and showing off. X Labs, I believe, is the company. Really nice little laser welder, but it's there are things it can't do. So if you do find yourself out there looking into laser welding, it's actually a completely mature technology now, but you need clean and you need like tight lines. But if you got those things, it'll do you. It'll do you real well. Let me see here.
Yeah.
What else have we got? We've got something that always generally interests me, especially as it relates to cars and car culture in general, being a car culture kind of cat, is that we've got the Trump administration is now suing California to tell them to fuck off with their gasoline car phase out. So we reported on this before. So as of right now, come 2035, you're not going to be able to buy a new gasoline car in California. Well, we'll have to see what happens when, I guess it would probably be the Department
I don't think
of
they'll
Commerce.
succeed in that. They won't succeed in that lawsuit.
Who,
The
Department of
state,
Commerce?
well, actually, it all depends, right? So the problem that you have
Mm-hmm.
is the federal government only has authority on goods and services that are traded across state lines. If California is saying we're not doing this in trade, right? This trade is not happening. That's not something that's like the U.S. government really has a say in. Now,
No, that's
you
fair.
could.
There's a. I know.
You
I think I know
could.
where
There
you're going
are-
with this. So
there-
go right ahead.
There are potential, like they could make an argument if there's a procedural violation.
Well,
Right.
and there's the whole Commerce Clause thing, and with that, you go into a lot of the Second Amendment arguments, which is like, well, you can't travel that, you can't sell that machine gun in Michigan to that guy in Iowa. So it's like,
So-
well, the cars are built in Michigan, you can, There's,
Yeah, but I
there's
mean,
very
even
fair
then, right?
arguments
Like
there.
you can't force. I can't force a municipality to buy something that I want them to buy, but they don't want to
Well,
buy.
you say that.
I know, right? But we
But
did
on
actually
paper,
have
on
this
paper,
whole
that is
thing.
the truth. Unfortunately,
Realistically,
we
we
don't
did
live on
have
paper,
this.
but yeah.
Technically, the U.S. federal government already had this play out with the vaccine mandates, right? And they lost that case. They could not compel people to purchase.
Fair.
So
Here's my question, because I keep hearing that California is going to phase out, gas vehicles, right? And I just keep like, all I keep imagining is that eventually like pretty soon after they're going to be like, oh shit, this is bad idea. We have to.
Oh, we've talked about this a
Yeah.
number of times, like the infrastructure to charge these fucking things. Like,
Yeah, I mean, from everything I've heard from people who, who call into to my show, to people who I know in California, like it's not sustainable because California's power grid is kind of fucked as is.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just California's. It's like all of the power grids, right?
Yeah, the U.S. can't support that, basically.
Right.
They could, but basically, so here, let me try to break it down for you in an easy to understand way. The amount of so the total amount of U.S. energy used, all of it, right? All of it is about 20% of it is electrical. About 30% of it goes into transportation, and about 30% of it goes into manufacturing, right? And so it's something like that, right? And that accounts for about 80% of our power. And I think the rest of it goes into like home heating and stuff like that. It's general fuels usage. So if you want to take the transportation sector, which is about 30% of the economy, and you want that to go all electric, which is only 20% of the economy, you end up needing to build out a network you basically need to physically lay 1.5 times as much copper is already there, right? On top of that, most of the systems that have been in place, and this is a constant problem for infrastructure, we build something and then we patch it together and we keep it going. Most of these things, like a lot of people don't realize that almost everything that's produced when we build a structure or something like that, it's got a lifespan on it. This is why
that gets
this
lost
is why a
a
house
lot.
on the this is why a house on the market today that was built in 1970 doesn't depreciate in value, because fundamentally all of the things in the house that makes the house a house degrade over time and have to be maintained and upkeep. So as long as the house has been maintained and upkeep, it holds roughly the same value as a modern house, right? It might be a little bit depreciated from the market, but it's not going to be all depreciated from the market, because the newer house does all the same house stuff the older house did with like minor improvements or enhancements or abilities that can be afforded to it. In the case of the electrical grid was largely built out as part of the Great New Deal, right? That's really when it was built. That's when we built all of the electrical. We actually have papers at the lab because the lab, I have two components, two facilities here. One is the lab, where we actually do the research, and the other one is the training base, which is where we train the sailors. And the training base had 3 nuclear reactors, I think, at peak, maybe 4 nuclear reactors at peak, something like that. But we used to actually provide the electricity to the area, and there were people who, when this lab was being built back in the 50s, who didn't have electrical power out here at all, and we actually built that out as part of like the goodwill project to, hey, let me stick a nuclear reactor in your backyard type stuff.
Sure.
And so they no longer do that, right? Like, we're no longer allowed to. I can't remember why. There's some sort of agreement.
Those are great programs.
What's that?
Oh, just those outreach programs that actually end up doing good while getting
yeah. They were. It was a wonderful thing, and then there was like this whole conflict with the utility because, the government is basically funding the training program and then selling electricity back to people at significantly reduced rates compared to what it was, because their value was in training the sailors, and so the National Greed, or whoever was the utility at the time, threw a hissy fit about how we're taking away their
shut
business.
The fuck up, Rockefeller. But yeah,
right. So, but in any case, most of those systems were built back in the 40s and the 50s, right? With
for the
electrification
needs of the 40s and 50s, with only a little, well, not a little, but without adequate foresight for the world of today. I mean, how could you see that then?
Well, that's part of it, but even then, so when it goes back to like, why can't California do it? Not only do they need to build out about 1.5 times of what they already have, they basically need to put out double the copper, double the towers, double everything, right? Because those towers, if I have a tower and it's rated to carry a certain physical weight, and I double the weight that it's rated that I'm running through there, I either have to reevaluate to see whether it's stable or not, or change the condition. Then you have your voltage parameter. So you're really talking about rebuilding not just the entire network that we have, but also laying a network of
basically
more
just
than
a whole
equivalent
nother
size,
infrastructure of the same size as already exists, long and short.
Just to provide the physical infrastructure that is needed to charge cars.
Yeah, or long and short, everything that we already have, just do it all again.
Right. And like most houses, you have 240 volts coming into the house, but it's 120 everywhere else. And even then, they only have like 110 amp service. You're needing to throw on a car at, say, 30, 40 amps to charge it properly.
Like, to do it right,
like,
you want 3-phase. And there's not a lot of places that have 3-phase. That's just the way it is.
Almost nobody domestically outside of commercial has 3-phase.
Right.
So you're, and that's a whole separate, by the way, that's a whole separate sub panel. That's a whole separate set of breakers. That's a whole separate set of everything.
Wire,
right?
It's an everything.
Yeah. So it's not like, could California do it? Yeah, but unless they're willing to spend that money, and that is a 20-year project.
Yeah,
realistically,
we've seen where billions of dollars in multi-year projects end up in California.
Right. It's a 20-year project to get it to happen, and they haven't even started.
Yeah, I mean, what was the fucking the high-speed rail was meant to be like a decade project, and they've got a mile now.
Yeah,
and they're well like past the decade, and well into the billions. So yeah. No, but in some good news, actually, out of a surprising place, honestly, out of Mexico, and what was the university here? Let me see if I can find the specific university here. Eva Ramon Gallegos at no, I don't have the thing. Oh, National Library of Medicine? Really? Huh. Well, fuck. I can't get it. Either way, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was at a place. I'll include a link to the thing. But long and short here, they've got a photodynamic therapy that eliminates HPV 16 and 18 in women. So the human papillomavirus, if you're not familiar, is kind of a big deal. So what this has done is eliminated.
The bigger problem is the vaccine sterilizes women, but that's a separate problem.
Also, yeah. So if you had a way to deal with that without a sterilizing vaccine, that would be a very good thing. And it looks like they do, actually. So they've just run some controlled clinical studies. Let me see if we've got the actual numbers here. This better not. Okay, good. It's out of the National Institute of Health on PubMed. Okay. Oh, here we go. 83%? Wow. Okay, I'll just read you the abstract. Study aimed to determine the effectiveness of photodynamic therapy using aminolevulinic acid in the elimination of premalignant cervical lesions in Mexican patients with human papillomavirus infection and or cervical intraepithelial neoplasia. 30 women diagnosed with CNI or positive for HPV participated in the subject. The topical 6% 5-ALA, that's the aminolevulinic acid, in gel form was applied to the uterine cervix. So this is a topical, not surgical, not lasers. This is a gel. This is a topical treatment. That's wild. So, topical 6% 5-ALA in gel form was applied to the uterine cervix after 4H, I'm guessing hour. Well, after 4H, the lesion area was irradiated with a light dose of 200 joules per square centimeter at 635 nanometers. Procedure was performed 3 times at 48-hour intervals. Clinical follow-up was performed at 3, 6, and 12 months after initial PDT administration by colposcopy, cervical cytology, histopathological analysis, polymerase chain reaction, and hybrid capture of HPV-infected patients without evidence of CIN1. 80% cleared the infection, while HPV associated with CIN1 was eliminated in 83% of patients. At 12 months, CNI1 had regressed in 57% of patients, although the response was not statistically significant. PDT using 6% 5-ALA was concluded to be effective in eliminating HPV infections associated or not with CIN1. So that's pretty great. I'll throw a link to the published article if you'd like to go over it yourselves out there. But we are seeing some really, really excellent advances in medicine just in the last 2 years, honestly. We've seen very reasonable treatments for a swath of cancers are finally entering human trials with ivermectin, fenbendazole, and minbendazole, which, if you've been here a long time, you know that we reported on those working for some reason on COVID. Now we have some of the data behind that, and now some more interesting research, older, but released by way of the CIA in regards to some of their, research into the USSR and some of the medicine they were doing that found that cancer responds in a parasitic fashion. Whether it is or is not a parasite, it probably isn't, but it responds and kind of acts that way, so it gives us a little bit of an insight into one of the reasons why these antiparasitics might work. And we've gone into that in greater detail at other times, so just check back to previous shows, but just more to key into what we've said, just to let you know that we're not bullshitting you here, and we're doing what we can to actually get to the answers before other people. So on that note, and as a pretty good way to close this out for the night, I think, unless I can think of another really amazing story here. I think this will be a good one. So, actually, first, congratulations to Brandon Herrera for taking the GOP lead and beating Tony Gonzalez in Texas District 23. I look forward to Congressman Brandon Herrera taking over. I think I think he will be a great thing for the people of Texas and will serve them faithfully and dutifully. No jokes there at all. Just like he's a decent guy. He's a shit poster, and we need more shit posters in office.
My favorite retort from the left on that has been, he's just a YouTuber. Does he know anything about policy? And it's like, well, yeah, but you guys have like a bartender as one of your top people right now.
Yeah, or terrorist or whatever, because that is a literal thing also.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm actually a bigger fan of like, I don't like the idea. One of the things that really has pissed me off is elitism. Elitism is rampant in politics, where it's a serious problem.
It's kind of worse on the right.
It can't be a government of the people, by the people, for the people, if the people have to come from, outside the government.
Right.
Yeah, you've got to have some real diversity in there, funny enough. But to close us out, we've got a bit of a feel-good story out of Australia, I think is where it occurred. It's reporting by way of The Australian. And let me get this loaded up here. Are you serious? Okay, yeah, it is. Well, I've read the story, and I can just convey it to you. If this is apparently going to be stupid, I'll try and find a better source. But long and short here, we've got a tech guy. He works in crypto, works in AI, works in systems. Guy knows his stuff. He adopts a dog that's been kind of set by the wayside. A little bit of an older dog. Nice guy. Just being a good person. And he loves the dog. Finds out the thing's got cancer and tumors, this, that, and the other. Dog's in a bad way. And so he knows his stuff. And he says, I'm gonna try and find a solution to this. My dog's gonna die, and I don't want my dog to die. Well, that's perfectly reasonable. Nothing wrong with that at all. And so what he does, he gets all the data that he's got, and he runs it through some systems, runs it through, I don't know if he used Claude or ChatGPT, if it said.
It's ChatGPT.
Was it? Oh, no, he used AlphaFold, excuse me.
I thought it was ChatGPT.
I
could have sworn I saw something that said
he probably,
maybe I'm wrong.
He might have integrated using a number of things, but, well, I'll get to it. So what he did is he got a biopsy on the tumors, got the data, like the hard data, sent those into. Let me see if I can find the number of the name of the company. I cannot, unfortunately. So whatever, he sent it into a DNA analysis company. Had his dog's the tumor sequenced, and then he took that data, sent it off to the Ramasiati Center for Genomics. He sent this data off to Associate Professor Smith. Basically gave him all the data, everything that you could want as a person in that position, and that's where he used the AlphaFold to comb through that genomic data. And in so doing, he found some markers. I think this is where the ChatGPT comes in, where he ran that AlphaFold data through ChatGPT with like all the studied papers and everything to find out what drugs were effective against these markers and those markers, and basically took all the high points of these and went to this genomics firm and said, "Hey, he went to like a drug manufacturer, a more traditional drug manufacturer, to have like a custom drug made, and it was going to be highly prohibitive to do that. And so he was kind of not really knowing what to do. He ends up getting in touch with a company that does mRNA technologies. And, well, it's perfect fit for what they're trying to do here. So they engineer an mRNA, call it a vaccine, if you like. That's poor choice of words, but an mRNA technology that will basically cause the body to... Well, we've talked about this in how it was done by Robert Malone, who kind of pioneered the technology, again, for the treatment of cancers. So it, long and short, teaches your body that these cancers are not you and must be removed from your body using the tools and systems that exist in your body. So it ends up being a much better, cleaner process than going in there with a scalpel and a scoop. So he sends in the genomics. He gets this custom mRNA sequence done, gets it to his dog. Within like a week, he's seeing all these tumors go down. The dog's got energy, and it's working. He's doing great. Then, now, another part of this, it takes months because he's got to jump through all kinds of hoops. He had trouble finding, after he got the medicine custom made, he then has to find like a vet or a university or an organization that has the right ethics certifications to be able to do this quote unquote legally, because he is doing it the right way, which at the end of the day is the right thing to do, because it's all documented and it's all jumped through all the hoops. And when you jump through all the hoops and you tie off all your loose ends and you fill in all your boxes and you got all your red tape in place, it's real hard for the people at the top to say, well, that's bullshit, because, well, you've got all the paperwork. So anyway, long and short, he does the months and months of paperwork, back and forth, finds the right people, gets it done. Within a week, dog's doing great. They've got a couple of tumors that are unresponsive, so they're going in for a second round. He's going to just basically do the same thing with these tumors, get them done. So guy spends, I want to say, something like 10 to 16,000 treating his dog's cancer. That is to say, legitimately treating his dog's cancer, which was, it was fatal. Dog was dead. It was a done deal. And... oh, yeah, here we go. One tumor has shrunk quite a lot, probably halved. Hasn't completely disappeared. She's so much more comfortable because it was so big. Like, apparently his dog had a huge tumor on the side of its neck that was making it hard to, like, eat and breathe. So, yeah. Let's see here. He went in for an initial, and then went in, like, every 3 months for booster shots of that. And then they'll repeat the process again. But what this shows is that these technologies are actually very helpful, very useful, and have decidedly excellent use case scenarios. And so there's no reason to throw the baby out with the bathwater just because Fauci's a complete fuck and really likes his mRNA tech. It has its place. And, you know, this just goes to show you. But the other part of this I want to say, and this was this was presented by an account by the name of Seb Creer on the Twitter, or the X if you like. But there's a fun thing here that happened with this. Basically, myself and many others have come out and said, this is amazing. This democratizes medicine. Not only medicine, but I mean, it democratizes biotech, if we're being completely honest. Which is, what more could you ask for? That's fucking dope. But I'm gonna read a quote tweet from a man by the name of Patrick Heiser. Patrick Heiser, biomedical engineer, permaculture farmer, chemist, scholar, Maryland supremacy husband and father. Followed by, well, we got 3 mutuals. Anyway. So, I got top quality mutuals, so only 3. That doesn't speak well for you, Patrick. Anyway, I'll just read what he had to say about this thing that happened. And well, if you're not sitting down, you might want to be. This is it'll grab you. Sorry to be the downer, because this is an impressive story in some senses, but it is trivially easy to make a single mRNA vaccine. It's not hard. I cure mice of various cancers with various therapeutics all the time. I've made mice lose more
wrong.
weight in a month than tirzepatide does in a year. What is hard and expensive is proving it's both safe and effective in a randomized and controlled study in humans, while also manufacturing at a clinical scale and grade. I am happy for this man and his dog. It is impressive, but y'all are overhyping it. Patrick, you're up.
He's not wrong. The guy's not wrong.
Technically,
that's 100% correct.
It is 100% technically correct.
I mean, it's all the way correct in every single way, right? Now, again, as much as I am not a pro mRNA person, that was actually one of the discussions I had with my pediatrician very early on.
Good call.
There is a difference between vaccines and cancer treatments. Okay. There is, and that is something like a disease that might potentially kill you if your statistics don't work in your favor, unlike the vast majority of the people, and something that will definitely deterministically kill you, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? And one of the bigger problems that you have when you want to have these discussions is you're going to have people who are going to sit there and say, oh, well, I think that the mRNA technology is great. Why do you hate vaccines? And the answer is, you don't hate vaccines. That's not the problem. The problem is that you don't want to be using genetic technologies, kind of haphazardly.
Okay,
that's just not what you want to do.
I was really wondering where you were going with this. So, okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah. So it's really more or less that.
But the thing is,
yes,
I
all
get
of what that
saying.
guy said is correct. You 100% can easily do stuff with mRNA technologies, and cancer research is a perfect example of like this. This really shows the democratization of all that stuff. That being said, the bigger problem, the bigger gap is going to be in the accessibility to humans, and part of this is a regulatory problem. Yeah, and because you had Fauci sitting there and kind of fucking the whole thing up by attempting to force a vaccine on the populace. You're going to have lower uptake.
Let's not say vaccine. He was attempting to force an mRNA product that he had a stake in on the public.
Sure, however you want to frame it, right? The point is, he decided to pollute the entire process, and so now someone like myself has to be in opposition to this technology being deployed in this way, not because I disagree with what was being done. Congratulations, it shows the democratization of science associated with AI, the internet, and everything else. Way to go, this guy, right? And the technology for the mRNA platform is absolutely amazing, but you can't let stories like this sit there and masquerade as a giant win, because the real problem is, what are we applying it to? How are we applying that to in humans? If a human being has a definite case of death, you should treat. Like, you should if you know that they're going to die because of a variety of different reasons, you should treat that 100%. But when it's not deterministic like that, we should absolutely take all of the caution that we possibly could think of. And unfortunately, people are going to actively pretend that they don't know the difference.
You make a fair argument, but I don't think it really addresses what I'm getting at with this. And I'll be happy to explain, because a lot of it's in the last part of what Patrick is saying here. Is that, and it's the same with him too. And I'll just repeat that section. What is hard and expensive is proving it is both safe and effective in a randomized and controlled study in humans, while also manufacturing at a clinical scale and grade. And see, that's the thing. Yep. This is not a clinical scale and grade. this is an individualized, personalized medicine made between an individual in need and the company that can produce it. So to the point that you have where the regulation and legislation makes this very difficult, I agree. And that's why I made a point of mentioning how many months of red tape the guy had to file to get through this. It shouldn't be like that. It should be more accessible. When you're consenting to treatments that should be good and are otherwise tested, shouldn't be such a big deal. But that's where a lot of this is. That's where I say he's technically correct. He's addressing kind of another issue as opposed to this one specifically. And this is one of those things where every human body is different, and necessarily, perhaps, some of these mRNA technologies would have to be done in this same fashion. Maybe not by, this one guy in this one place. Maybe that's maybe what he did here. Maybe there's a new place for data science in the medical industry specifically for the purpose of just decoding, genomes and making that data accessible to systems that can tailor drugs, perhaps. But that's not quite where we are. And that's kind of the point I wanted to make with this, is that he's kind of not seeing the forest for the trees. You know what I'm saying? But either way,
I can buy that.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad you get where I'm coming from with this, because it kind of necessarily is customized. I'd love to see it kind of systematized and made more available, but a lot of things. Well, not a lot of things, I shouldn't say. Some things are not well suited to that, and some things just take more systems to be able to be suited to that. And we're not at that place. The mRNA words. Say words. There we go. The mRNA technology is a pretty new technology in medicine and bioscience in general, and so these young technologies, we've got to come to understand them better, how they work, how best to employ them and deploy them. As we've seen with COVID, right? But man, beyond that. Jeez, I feel like I had one other thing I was wanting to hit here. I swear there was. Man, what was it? I know I had like some other... Yeah. That's right. I knew I had a cool story. Let me pull this up real quick here. So, in 100% right now, modern world, ammo vending machines. Hell yeah. So Target Sport USA is going to be rolling out ammo vending machines. Let me see if we've got any locations here yet. They're going to be starting out in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. They'll be selling stuff out of there. Oh, they look cool. They got like flags and shit on them. Man, it looks like something from Cyberpunk 2077. I love it.
This sounds like it's rage bait for the left.
Kind of. But it's an actual thing. Okay. They're not going to be rolling them out in colleges. God, that'd be fucking funny. Okay. Target Sports USA recently unveiled its newest innovation, state-of-the-art ammunition vending machine, on display in the Great American Outdoor Show in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Okay. So it has secure ID verification, integrated payment processing, real-time inventory tracking, controlled dispense, compliance-focused transaction safeguards. Oh, cool. And let's see if they've got any... Oh, they're actually going to be rolling them out. I'll just read the... Perfect.
That is fantastic.
I just have to read this last paragraph of the article because, of course. More information about machine locations and availability will be announced soon. In accordance with federal, state, and local regulations, these machines will not be deployed in New York, as current laws do not allow for the required background check procedures to be constructed through this format. Of course. Boy, silly stuff. In addition to that, there's a number of 3D printing laws that are going in place around the U.S. that are looking to do really, really dumb stuff with your freedom of speech. A lot of them will probably not hold up in court, but that doesn't mean they're not going to try. So, get yourself a good 3D printer right now if you're in one of those weird places, because soon they're going to probably make it very difficult. Because at the end of the day, yes, it is about guns, but it's not about guns. It's about your ability to provide for yourself and your ability to make those things that you want and need on your own terms. And, well, long and short, state kind of doesn't like that in general. And by golly, beyond that, well, was there anything else you wanted to hit, Steve?
No. There's not much going on right now.
All right, gotcha. Well then, with that, Sam, thank you for joining us. Make sure and check out his latest work. It'll be linked down below. I'm Evan at That Fake Guy Dan. You can find Sam on the Twitters at
at SamW_NGC.
Yeah, I knew there was an underscore in there. Yeah, you can find Sam on there. You can find my man Steve at Ratman720 and Craig at Craig.
Wait, Sam, are you a lawyer?
No, but I should have probably gone to law school.
Oh, I thought your thing said Esquire. I was like, oh shit, he's a fucking lawyer. That's kind of cool.
No, I wish I were, but no, it said underscore NGC, not
okay. My bad.
Esquire.
Nah.
No.
The most esteemed Mr. Whitfield. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for joining us, everybody that was live, everybody that stuck around to the end of the show. Thanks for being here. Make sure and share it around everywhere, because that's how we grow. And the shows, we're going places. We've been here a while. We've got a nice footprint, but if you know anybody that would like a little bit of the truth behind the data, and well, I guess now we're kind of pulling some of Tim Pool's weight. Back when things started, we were kind of filling in a lot of the gaps that he was leaving, and
yeah, it's very unfortunate. Like I really, he's really gone downhill.
Genuinely, like yeah, it sadly has.
And it's clear that it's a money thing. Like it's clear that it's a money thing. It's everything's clickbait. Everything's it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, and that can cause things to spiral too, which is not good. But hey, we are true to what we do, because I'm paying for all of this shit. So, nobody's paying me. If you'd like to, though, links are down below. And, once I got the bills covered, I'll be generous with my friends. So, help me help them. With that said, everybody, thanks for listening. It is genuinely my pleasure to just share all this with you and to be here to give you the insight you need on this mixed up world of today. So be safe out there in the crazy days, and I'll see you again real soon. So again, share it everywhere, and Godspeed.